Hello everyone, I'm HearMeowt. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be joined by Classified Crime, another YouTuber who has been collecting questions from viewers about what I saw in Florida, or questions about Florida, not just about what I saw, as well as questions from Human Tooth's subreddit. People put questions on there. Larry Powers will be joining us since he was there with me and can help answer as well. I've got some clips from Muldoon's and the other landmarks that we visited as part of Sarah Boone's lore. If you have any questions in the chat while we're going, please try and point them out, or other people take note of them so I, moderate or something. Because it's hard to provide commentary, run a show, and read chat at the same time. So anyway, we should have some fun here, and let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm going to bring up my two guests, Classified Crime and Larry Powers. How are you all?
Doing great. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good, doing good. Another day, another dollar.
I'm getting there.
I've had another day of being an excellent mother to my son. I did send him an invoice for 13.5 cents a minute, though.
Nice.
He didn't appreciate that.
So Classified Crime, for her channel link is in the description of this video, so make sure you sub to her as well. And anyone on Classified Crime who doesn't know who I am, you can check me out, although I seem to upset some people sometimes. But anyway, Larry Powers, you're writing a book.
Yes, I am.
Sarah. You do not have a YouTube channel, but you are keeping us informed through my community post as well, right?
Yes. Hopefully, I'm aiming for spring. I would like to do it sooner, but my artist friend that's doing illustrations, he's my dad's age, so he's a little bit slower than takes him a while. And I'm always broken. I'm in and out of the VA like I'm a professional patient now. So we're doing our best, but I'm aiming for spring, and hopefully I can find a publisher and not have to self-publish, because I really don't want to go down that road. But if I have to self-publish it one way or the other, it's going to get done.
Classified Crime, why don't you tell us about your channel?
Okay, well, my channel is more of a direct, just reading a lot of court documents, just getting the info out from the court docket. I do have my little dog Snoopy on there for my channel mascot, and we just add a little bit of snarky comment from time to time, mostly in the chat though.
All right, and look at this, your first super chat.
Thank you, Polynomial Purebred. Snoopy is excited.
She just turned on super chats, by the way. I told her you turn them on, so there you go. That's good. Polynomial for the support. Okay, so the way it's gonna work is I've got the questions from Reddit and your channel, the post you made on your channel. I've got them cut up here so we can show them on screen. I've given them to Larry as well ahead of time, so Larry should not be surprised by any of these questions. But I do have some video to work into some of them. Some things weren't asked, but we weren't asked that I thought would be asked. But let's see, what's this first one here? So this is Danielle the girl, or Daniel the girl 029 said, was it mentioned in court that Brian's attorney is suggesting, rightly so, that Sarah owes Brian child support? And if it was, what was her reaction? Yes, it was. I mean, he went through basically the same fact. He laid it all out in his pretrial statement, what he gave in his opening statement, and then just laid the foundation with the questioning. His case was very simple, or not complex, right? This isn't a Donna Adelson murder plot. This is very straightforward. I don't remember her giving any reactions, so that was actually kind of surprising to me. And maybe you can disagree with me, Larry. I was expecting a lot more interruptions during like his opening statement when he's questioning Brian from Sarah saying, "Oh, I object to that. I object." I can't recall an objection she made while like in an inappropriate spot or for an inappropriate reason. She might have done one at some point, but it was behaving. She was behaving.
If I recall, in the very beginning, she made an interruption and the judge kind of shut her down right away. So I think she took it from there to wait for her turn, because if I recall, it was in the very beginning where the judge kind of like, Miss Boone,
Yeah, she was asking a lot of questions that were not at the appropriate time. I remember that, but I don't remember her outright doing, when you see a lot of pro ses, they were treating it like an argument in court with opposing counsel or with, their ex-spouse, or if they're both pro se. So I was surprised by that. She actually figured it out, like, oh, I'm not supposed to talk right now. And so there was no reaction that we could hear, or at least that I could hear over the phone, for when these things were suggested. I think her best reaction, and I don't know if you picked up on this, Larry, when they started and they had done their opening statements, and this is right after she had started asking questions like, did you get my evidence, all this kind of stuff, and Brian is going to be called. The judge says something to Sarah like, Sarah, can you hear Brian, right? He said, Brian, why don't you speak? And she said, it was like a depressed, like, yeah, like she did not understand. Like, she thought, I believe she thought she was just going to come in and be able to grandstand, right? Like, I get to go first, but she's upset already that he's going first when it should be her time, right? So he gets to testify. It was that kind of like, I don't know, it was subtle. I picked up on it though. Like, yeah, she did sound kind of like she was upset that he went first. Like, but the judge did say, it's his burden.
Burden of proof is on them, and explained it to her that they're going to go first. But it did sound like a little bit of disappointment in her voice. Like she was ready to start her ranting and raving immediately.
Right.
And the judge just shot her down. So.
And it also goes to her mindset of thinking or believing that order matters for credibility. Like, if he gets his story out first, then you're going to believe him, versus if I got to go first, then you'll believe me. Right? You don't. That's not the way it works. When you sound batshit crazy, Sarah, and you bring up stupid shit, you're going to. I didn't mean to cover your name there, classified crime. Maybe if I move this around.
No, you're good.
I was saying, she just didn't get it. Like, did they ever talk about the child talking to the judge? No, not that I noticed. There was no mention of that.
I wish. I mean, really, I wish that the judge could have talked with their son privately and get his input. But I mean, Brian represented his son, so I mean, and I think Brian was overly generous. If it were me, I wouldn't even want her to talk to him once a week or even visit him once. I think it should be totally up to the son, whether if he wants to talk to her anytime on the phone or never, or if he doesn't ever want to go to the prison to see her, that should be his decision. But
see, I was thinking this could actually go ahead, classified crime.
I agree 100%. And I was kind of surprised that the judge did not consult with the child. Although in my experience with family court, I did see people kind of admonished by the judge for bringing children to court. They were not happy that the children were there. The children should be in school and not in these proceedings. So I have seen judges do that in family court.
Yeah, I think from a legal standpoint, you really didn't need him to be there. Number one, Sarah's going to show how crazy she is. Right? You don't need corroborating evidence from the child to show that Sarah is an unfit person, unwell, that she's in prison. She shouldn't have all this meddling and interaction, right? So you don't need him for that. Number two, it could backfire. What if he comes in and says, no, I want my mom. I love my mom calling me all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Like, just depending on the day, because he's young. Or not, he's a kid. He's not young. But depending on the day, right? You know, he thinks something is happening, like, oh, they're going to cut off all communication based on whatever lies she said to him. And so he's coming in charged up with a defense, right? So I think it was almost zero upside and downside all the way, especially since, you know, you don't need, or the judge doesn't want him there, right? Why involve the kids? This is primarily an alimony and a custody issue over everything. Can you give us more detail about Sarah being pulled out of the phone room? Did she really tell the judge she's being pulled? So that was interesting because of the recording of the trial, like where you hear Sarah at the beginning where she's going, hello, hello, in the room. We couldn't hear any of that in the courtroom. So like Larry and I said, we were not sure, is Sarah ghosting? We could only hear the judge saying, can anyone hear me? You know, and there's no response. So we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if Sarah was there. We didn't know, you know, we didn't know it was a technical issue at the beginning. But at the end, yes, it definitely was a surprise when she got pulled out of the room because of the DOC officer coming in. I don't know why they said what it was. It's like scheduling or something. Like she had to get to some other place, or maybe that section of the prison is locked down. Or it didn't make a whole lot of sense, and it didn't make sense why it needed to happen to us in court, at least. Well, I mean,
they didn't get her out of there early like they had wanted to. They actually wanted to get her out of there early, but
right,
you know, ended up going late, like a couple minutes past 5, and the judge was irritated by then that, you know, they were even going 1 minute over.
Well, I think that the correction officer probably quoted a time that made it. I mean, things move real slow in prison, right? They're not lickety split. Like you would in the real world. Like, hey, give me 5 minutes, I'll get dressed. Like, now we're going to block out 20 minutes for getting dressed or 20 minutes for this, right? And everything just goes real, like almost a 50% speed. So, yeah, I got to get you over here. I'm going to double the time because who knows what happens on the way over there because you're prisoners and you all act insane. But also the admonishment from the judge probably made her less confident in pulling Sarah out of there. But Sarah kept saying, yep, nope, they're pulling me out. Nope, they're pulling me out. And it was after she got her last piece of evidence in. So, I mean, she didn't need to say anymore, but
I think it would have been funny if they had pulled her out of there kicking and screaming and stun guns, you know.
Absolutely.
But
Sarah, I think, was dragging her heels almost. Like, not, I don't know, I can't say that, because she could easily just be as inefficient and stupid, right? That last hour where she's quoting case law and her exhibits, instead of just saying, yeah, exhibit 4, 5, 7, 9, and 22, right? She was doing everything on the fly. You could tell, like, it was not an organized campaign. There was, I described this to Suma. So the trial that we got with the family trial was the equivalent of the interrogation. It was not the Sarah we got on the stand in the criminal case, right? We got the interrogation version where she's pushing back, like, please, 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 you know, understand, like, why aren't you doing this? Well, tell me, we'll both know. Like that real aggressive attitude, which she was not playing. She was not acting at all in front of Brian. She couldn't control herself. It's the, you know, she didn't have, it was very clear to me she didn't have any overall plan. It was just, I'm going to poke holes in his credibility by asking these questions somehow, right? She had no strategy, which is bizarre, right? Right, Larry? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
she didn't come to court with her ducks in a row, like, you know, as she pointed out, like one time in that interrogation. But she did not have her her stuff together, and it showed because citing that case law that burned up so much time. When wasn't that? Shouldn't it, I think that was on her her submission. I thought she quoted that case law in one of her motions.
I think it was in a 33 page pretrial statement. Right?
So why does it need to be cited again if it's already in her 33 page manifesto? Why does it need to be cited again? She just burned up so much time between that and cross examining Brian over questions that had nothing to do with the business at hand. She just burned up so much time. What should have been a 2-hour hearing, dragged out for what was it, 4?
Yeah.
4 hours? That's insane. It shouldn't have taken that long.
I think one of the questions coming up here is about the paperwork, but I'll answer with this one. Let me see if it's this one. Oh yeah, okay. We'll connect it to this one. Do you really think she had papers to shuffle since she kept repeating her talking points, which each page covered with just 1 or 2 issues? So here's what I genuinely think. What she had was all of the stuff she submitted. So all her pretrial statements that she had written, the 33 page kind of bullshit, right? All of the agreements that she had, but she didn't have the right ones because you could tell she was reading through it as she was going, right? She said, I didn't know we were doing the parenting agreement, or I don't know how. You could tell as she's going through the questions, she's just skimming the page and then asking a question of Brian, being like, communication, it says this. So did you do that? I picture her coming into the room exactly like she did in the interrogation and I have questions too, if, when we get the time, like they were just questions she had jotted down for however long she spent on it.
She said that they when she was reading out the case law citations, she said something about they didn't give me something or they cut her off. So I think her flying monkeys probably gave her a bunch of paper, but I don't think Sarah reads anything. So I think she was probably doing it on the fly. She, like I said, she didn't come prepared. If she had, she would have read, all that case law. She would have been able to cite, those talking points. But.
I mean, she would have made an opening statement if she prepared. All she did was read her pretrial statement, which is argument. It's not an opening statement. And could it be laziness? Yes. Could it be that Sarah thinks she's so good that why reinvent the wheel? Look, I already turned in 33 pages of A+ material. I'm just going to go read that to the judge, and they're just going to be wowed again. It didn't make any sense.
Sabritha in the chat is saying she clearly didn't know what's what and how many.
No, she didn't know what's what or how many.
It was like watching a baby seal club itself to death.
Yes, that was a very citation about you.
I'm sorry if that remark offended it, but I can't think of a better way to describe it. It was just like watching a train wreck followed by a plane crash. Just one calamity after another. Is
the most awkward part to me when I was listening to the upload by Human Tooth on Reddit was the judge is trying to wrap it up. The jail is trying to pull her out, and she's like reading word for word all this stuff off of. It's like you can tell she's reading it word for word, and I'm like, just stop. Get to the point. Right. What is the point you want to make? I just wanted to scream that at her.
Oh, we did too. I know a couple times you looked over your shoulder at me and gave me a look like, did she really just say that? And I kind of like rolled my eyes and I'm like, yes, she did. I can't believe it either. But I think we were grateful for the break that we got, and also we were glad that the judge was trying to wrap it up, but just Sarah wouldn't let it go.
I was nervous at the end about the evidence. Like, I knew that would be the one problem. But you didn't get your evidence in because you can't go after she's gone, and you can't then be ex parte communications, right? You can't have the petitioner and the judge there without the respondent. And so if she didn't get all her evidence in, I was like, this could be a problem. But she got it all in, so and she could turn in her written closing statement. Like, yeah, you could say she wasted time, but you still got to give her the opportunity to turn in the evidence portion. So, but
If she
the fact that she was going so slow is what was so frustrating. Like it was always, and this please, and this please, which you could hear when you hear on the audio, but being there live, it felt like it was a joke every time she said it. Oh, you're doing another. I think another question is if we were, our reactions. I think there was head rolls. I think the entire court rolled its head on like the second to last or the last time she goes, yes, please, one more, please. Like, what is she doing? Like because it felt like, okay, we wrapped it up. And oh no, you want another one? What are you doing? The other thing is she acted, it was so much like a caricature of herself. Like she was performing a Sarah Boone skit on SNL with her own actions, right? Like you have to know at this, I guess maybe she doesn't know because she doesn't see the exposure, right? And she just hears herself, but she was such a stereotype of her own stupid behavior in family court, right? Like the same, just, I don't know, the same stupid points, the same stupid language.
Sarah Boone on Sarah Boone impersonating Sarah Boone.
Yes, that's what it felt like. It felt like an impersonator. Like I was listening to sound bites at some points. Like this is not a real human saying this again, right? This can't be. Okay, that's that one. This one. All right, so I got some video for this one. Or any last comment you wanted to make on the last one? Either of you? Okay. I know they said they walked around, I think they means me, right? And you walked around the back and didn't see any way a patio could have been extended, but I also wanted to know about the retaining wall. Sarah said George would stand on his bike on his way to work and talk to her over the retaining wall. How far is it? Could she legitimately be sitting on the patio and see him there? Or what I was thinking is more likely, did she walk over to the wall looking for him each day? It could be either. So I got the video here. Let's see. This first one is, so this is going to be, so the way it's set up, you've got two buildings, right? And essentially there's a walkway between them, which is why I went up to see behind. And I was also kind of trying to be respectful of people's private space, right? So I didn't fully go into there, but this is the retaining wall. And I'll dump down the audio since it's not necessary. Okay, so you can see this wall here. It came up to probably about right here. I would guess it's maybe 5.5, 6 feet. I'm 5'9".
I'm 6'1", so it to me it wasn't that it wasn't that tall to me, but.
Well, I remember so I could basically my eyes were in line with the top of the wall, right? So probably 5 feet, or I mean, I was able to look at my camera, rested on the wall, and that felt about, eye level. So this is about a 5-foot retaining wall. There's no way you could get through it because it's solid brick. It doesn't seem like something you would easily be able to mount unless you had a step stool or like a little ladder, especially for them because they were so short. But yeah, you could kind of see over it, I think, on the end. Yeah. Okay. So this is looking over the wall and you can see this path here.
Yeah, I remember when you had your hands on the phone, like right on the edge of it.
So this is where he would ride a bike, hypothetically. You could ride a bike down there. But you'll notice all the private property signs there. So Muldoon's is, it's to the right. It's not this yellow stuff back here. It's actually like 45. It's like 45-degree angle to the wall to the right here, or to that direction if you're looking at the video. So I mean, either way, either story could be true. But there's no way.
A bike, right?
Right.
So
well,
yeah.
The question is, if you could see if she's looking for him or if he's looking at her. It could be either way. The setup fits. If she's sitting on the patio, she could legitimately see him there if he's standing on a bike. And she could walk over to the wall if she had a little step stool and look for him because this entire area is open back here. It's just one long path, like almost like a road, but this is all private property, and the wall spans the entire length of the back of the apartments. So I thought this is maybe where Muldoon's was, but it's not. It's to the right. But I don't see how they could have been walking to Muldoon's through here, so they would have had to walk around. Yeah,
both of them were pretty small and 100 pounds soaking wet. I don't know if they could climb the wall or not. Maybe they could. I don't know. But
and then this is their back patio here. So you see this. You can't see my mouse on the screen, I assume, right? So you got this blue door on the right, and then if you see the first, I guess, heat pump, and then the second heat pump, that's their little patio right there. The one without the blue door, so it just looks like a gray wall. That's their back patio. So she, in extending it, must have run the little garden fence or whatever up on that little wall that separates the units. That window up top is they're going to be their bedroom, I believe, right? Because the stairs would come up this way. These two units to the right of them, these are single units, so this must have been, I don't know if these are the neighbors that heard the falling in the stairs, but theirs was a 2-story. The units to the right were single story, one on top of the other. But you can also see like the dinginess, like when I was talking about how it's surprising that they had remodeled it. Like, see the dirt on the building? It's in the green. Like, it looks worse now than I remember seeing it in the body cam video.
You're right. It actually does look worse. I mean, it could have been the previous color that made it look better, but
it didn't show as much. I mean,
yeah, it didn't show as much of the mold, mildew.
It was white. It was white before, I believe, right?
I thought it was like a eggshell white or yellow, or like a yellowish. I don't know. I'd have to go look at the body camera again. I've been reviewing a lot of the footage for the book, so I'll have to look at that one again. But
even these units, I don't know. I don't live in Florida, so I don't know what the weather does to stuff out there. I assume the humidity doesn't help keep things clean, but like everything is dirty. Like you can see the cracked roofing tile along the edge. The blinds were broken in a lot of the units, like against the wall. So it just felt gross. And I'm not saying the people there are gross, right? But it had a very depressing feeling. I will say that.
It could have. It also could have been the weather that day. It was kind of gloomy.
Yeah. The sun was. I told my wife the sun was not out once when I was the entire time in Florida. Since I landed, they had a thunderstorm, and the sun was behind the clouds the entire time. Classified crime. Do you want to handle this comment?
I just looked up. It says these apartments were built in 1986, so they're not new by any stretch.
But 86 isn't like necessarily old for building standards. Like,
no, but it is really humid here, and like I have to pressure wash my house all the time because it gets like a green algae growth a lot.
Yeah, we get green up here in Washington too. But
yeah,
this is this apartment complex, right? So they would hire people to do that. Like it's not like somebody's letting their house go downhill. This is an entire commercial residential zone that they're not doing maintenance on cleaning it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you want to respond to this comment since you have information on this?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So do we think Sarah made the closing argument deadline? So Nicole, one of the flying monkeys, has been in my chat a lot, and she responded to someone that it definitely got submitted on time. That's what she said.
Was it over 5 pages?
She didn't say.
She didn't specify. I think I have a screenshot of it. Let's see what she said. But she's been very active in my chat. I did do a video on some of her chats. But let's see. Here's her.
Yeah, it's not a slum. I wouldn't call it a slum or anything like that, right? Polynomial. It's like I would describe it as like you had something that was nice and you've done nothing with it, right? You bought a new car and then you never washed it. You just let it sit outside for 5 years or 5 years, and so it's all kind of grimy and stuff. Yeah, that's how I would describe the feeling.
All right, I put the screenshot of her comment there if anybody wants to see it.
Where's it at?
The one on top with the flying monkey,
Oh, okay.
Nicole R. Says her closing was mailed on time. That's all she said. And then we asked about the pages and she didn't say anything.
Well, now we also know that time is subjective to Sarah and I assume her flying monkeys as well. But
I would have thought that she wouldn't have been capable of sticking to 5 pages since she doesn't know the meaning of the word brevity.
brevity is the antithesis of wit.
Brevity is like keep it short and sweet and stick to the point, like she did in court.
Yeah, Mandy Strong. That's exactly it. It's not. There's no investment going into it. Anyway, okay. The next comment. All right, this is the hot button topic, and I should have covered this with Larry first, but we're gonna do it. I'll say what I'm gonna say, Larry, before you say it. Maybe I missed during the streams, but what did the people say about in the bar? What did the people in the bar say about George? I know they said Sarah was a flirty drunk who turned mean, but how do they describe George with and without Sarah? Did he act differently when she was with him? Did anyone actually witness George set a fight, or he only ever angry after being provoked? Okay, so I have a video first that I will show first. This one. And it's about Sarah, but it kind of plays into this comment.
She's always, every time she was in here, she wanted male attention. And, she was in here with George a few times, but there was times where she was in here by herself. And she was just like any man, she would just...
Well, she does the same thing to the cops on the video cameras, right? She's like...
yeah.
I'm barely... Hey, did you ever get the, I call it like the Sarah flash, where she...
This is your question page? Okay.
She'll show like all of a sudden, like she's like showing her true face for a split second where she's about to blow up on you, and then before she hides it again.
We've seen her like scream and yell. We've never seen anything physical because we're like, hey guys, we're gonna just like.
So her claws never came out.
No. But they were, I've seen her get heated and.
What would she be yelling at?
Really stuff that has nothing to do with the bar. Like it's like her and him are already like in it.
So they came in and they started fighting.
Yeah, every time they came in, it was going to be something. Even if it was her alone, it was going to be her just hanging all around like this person or this person, then just to try to get like that male attention that she.
Desperately.
Was she very flirtatious with just about every man?
Yes.
Or okay.
Especially Terrence. She loved Terrence. And Terrence was like, ugh. Like I did nothing to deserve this.
So, I wanted to play that because that bartender, we spoke to her the most. And it's critical because she's talking about stuff she saw, right? She sees her yelling at George all the time. She also, I couldn't find the clip for in here, but she was the one that said like you could not serve her when she came in because she might already be at the point of being cut off. You had to check her status when she would first sit down and say, like try and gauge how drunk she was because maybe she's been drinking all afternoon. And if you give her another drink, then she passes out or has alcohol poisoning. Like you had to do that before each time you served her a drink. That's how bad she was. To go over the top. Now, there was, in response to this question, there was another bartender there, a man who had a different opinion. And I call it opinion because I'll summarize what he said. What he would say was, or what he said was, they would come in, they would both get wasted, and then the next day she would show up with black eyes. So in his mind, he believed that George was violent towards her. I, on the other hand, don't necessarily believe that. Because none of the other female bartenders mentioned anything about her being beat up, right? None of them did, right, Larry? Like, nobody else mentioned it. None of the other patrons I talked to mentioned her being beat up. And that is exactly what Sarah would do to get male attention. Like, if you're thinking about getting male attention, right, go home, get wasted. Because she wasn't showing up with George with black eyes. She was showing up alone with black eyes. And you could say, oh, that's because they had a fight, right? But what greater thing, if you are absolutely obsessed with male attention and you think you're going to get a white knight, right? What better thing to do than just go ahead and put some, like we saw in like those photos don't make any sense. They outline the eye. They're not a circle like you would see with the bottom of a beer bottle, where it would be, it might be here, but then it's going to be like on the rim of your eye, right, where it touches the skull. It doesn't neatly fit inside your eyes. So I would not put it past Sarah at all that she would go home, and then because they might have had a verbal fight or whatever, or he left or something, right? She goes back. She wants to get the sympathy of men, the attention of men. And so she will put on makeup to get that sympathy and attention. Now, I don't think she realized that nobody wanted anything to do with her, so it didn't matter. I mean, they probably would give her CPR if she was passed out. But other than that, nobody was, trying to help her in terms, or like reaching out like, oh my God, sir, do you need a place to stay? Like, she was a nightmare. She was an absolute nightmare, according to everyone that worked there. Guy, go ahead.
I was going to say, to me, it looked like Kiwi black shoe polish I used to put on my combat boots.
Yeah, it looks like shoe polish. It is not, there's no different, and I am not, just to go on the record, I am not saying that men are not abusive to women, et cetera, right? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Sarah specifically. Sarah specifically is devious enough to do this. There was no change in the color, which doesn't look right. The shape doesn't look right. And there's no independent, I think maybe her brother said that they would get into it, but even then, I don't know of any eyewitness who has seen him do anything to her.
Well,
right?
The photo in court looked a little too perfect to me.
Right.
And I've seen my share of black eyes, and I've been in a couple bar fights too. And I had one of my guys show up for work one night when I was in the Air Force. He showed up with a black eye, and I said, "How'd you get the shiner?" And he said, "Oh, I got it playing softball this weekend." And I said, "Let's step outside." And I go outside and say, "Look, man, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck, man. I know what a black eye from a softball looks like, and a black eye from a fist looks like, and that looks like somebody's fist made contact with your eye socket. So why don't you rewind and tell me, what really happened?" And he finally confessed that he got in a bar fight, and bouncer knocked him out. And so, that's why I'm saying the one that they showed in court just looked a little too perfect to me. Like you were saying, there was no redness, around it.
Anyone who's had a bruise knows that it has weird shapes and colors. Like you see it when you're like, it'll be red when you injure it, right? But then, then it turns black, and then you're like, oh, why is it going out this way? Like, well, why is it yellow here? Like, what is going on? You get this kaleidoscope of colors, and that was not all present on her face. It was a deep black. The bruise is crushed blood vessels, right, with blood that's underneath the skin, right? So for it to be black, there has to be so much pooled blood uniformly around the eye. But further disclosure, I did show Classified Crime, the original clip, right? So it was to get her opinion on it, and your opinion of his recantation was what? I'll just let you.
I mean, he wasn't consistent. He was advocating for both of them. It's like he would agree with whatever you said about Sarah, then he would agree that George. It's like he couldn't really decide to me, and he was kind of wishy-washy. And then he also just, he was speculating, is what we would say in the courtroom, right? It was not something he witnessed. It was not something he was told. He was speculating. And it makes sense because he was the only male bartender you talked to, and she's going to come in damsel in distress. Look at my wounds. Oh, George did this to me. And you know, who is he to say that George didn't if he sees them yelling at each other the night before? So I think that he made a leap to get to what he told you.
And one thing I forgot to mention to you was when she says at the end of her clip, "Oh, except for Terrence, she loved Terrence," right? That's Terrence, the male bartender.
Oh,
So she has an
That was
obsession
him?
with it. Now, I got the feeling, Larry, I don't know if you, I got the feeling from Terrence that he did not like either of them. Like, he just did not like them. I don't know that he likes a lot of the patrons there, right? But like I was telling Classified Crime, it's easier if you don't know that a Sarah Boone exists, or we don't know who Sarah Boone is, and we hear the circumstances of a story, and we have to, you know, make up what happened in between. Like, you don't automatically assume, oh, this person is actually an insane gaslighter who will do anything to get attention, including makeup, right? You would just go, oh, you know, yeah, they got into a fight because they were both wasted when they left. And he said as well, and I think this is possibly a little projected, because I've always said this, he specifically stated she would nonstop egg him on and push him and push him and push him before they would leave, right? So she was constantly trying to push his buttons. And I think, like I said, I don't know that I wouldn't have gotten pushed to that point, right? If I had to live with Sarah, and if Sarah was doing just constantly pushing on me, right? I can't say that there's not a point where I wouldn't snap. Right? Just me as a human. I've never been through it, so I can't say that. I don't think I would, but I can't say it. Right?
Well, everybody has their breaking point, man or woman.
Right.
I mean, whether you're a man or a woman, everybody has a point where they can only take so much, you know, abuse, especially verbal abuse. You know, I mean, I'm not justifying, you know, violence against women,
right,
or domestic violence, or even domestic violence against men. But it seemed like in that the video that they showed in court, in the courtroom during her trial, of her berating him in the hallway, and she just kept going and going and going, and to the point, you know, when he struck back, I'm like, well, you poked the bear, you know, too many times, and you know,
right.
It happens. Some people when they respond with violence. I've always found it best to walk out the door before I let my, you know, temper get away with me.
Right.
Was it Tanika?
Yeah, Chanika's here.
Oh,
hello, Chanika. And hello to
hello,
everyone in the
Tanika.
chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat on the right-hand side, but also run the show. Yeah, so I'm not going to show his video, but that would be the comment that I would have for this comment. Like, no one ever saw him lay hands on her. They had plenty of testimony about her being the aggressive arguer, right? So,
well, even Brian said, you know, on the body cam that, you know, when Sarah would come at him with her claws, you know, he was able to, you know, refrain from doing anything violent, but he had restraint, whereas, you know, George didn't. Now, again, you know, there was testimony that, you know, that was, she came at him, she egged him on. So you're right. I mean, there was really no definitive proof.
Right. And if you're somebody that's trying to set up a kind of scenario, and you are constantly trying to orchestrate this, you're going to do things to, you know, make it seem a certain way, versus if you're just like an innocent victim in the gaslighting and abuse, you were just wanting to, your main focus is, I just want this to not be happening anymore. Right. So, yeah. Thought of one other thing.
Polynomial purebred is saying there's also a big size differential with Brian and not with George. So she might have felt more comfortable being more aggressive with George.
It could be,
right.
Both George and Sarah were 100 pounds soaking wet, and they were about the same height. You know, so maybe she did feel more, you know, emboldened to, assault him.
Classified crime. Your portion is on the bottom of this, and you said, did he meet anyone who knew George and had any memories of him? I wanted to say in connection with it, the female bartender. I don't know. I'm not going to say her name. You don't need to put that out there, even though she said it to me. But
right.
She said specifically that she had never seen George before George came in with her. Like, so it wasn't like George was a regular. So I don't believe this is the bar where they met. They even described it being some kind of another bar down the street that had changed its name or something, probably closer to her old marital home. But George without Sarah was not a thing at that bar. Every time, I don't know that they even just said that he was ever there without her. So, but she was definitely there without him.
Coming on to every man in the bar, I guess, but or wanting to hug every man in the bar, but.
Also, did anyone else?
Was just revolting when she did that. Like, please, I couldn't be professional if I was a police officer coming into that.
Yay!
No,
Such a.
Ma'am, get back.
Why? I'm surprised she didn't do. I'm surprised she didn't mime it, like being like,
Right.
Why? Why aren't you happy to see me?
I don't know. I like the one where the one cop says Jesus, and do you need Jesus?
Yeah.
I thought that was the
You
best.
lost it for a second. That was great.
Oh wait, hold on. Suma's losing her mind here.
Guys?
It's the same bar, I think she means. Suma.
Yeah,
Calm down, Suma. Oh, here she is. She's blowing up my phone. Bing. You hear this? Bing, 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 bing. Okay, Suma, you're saying it's the same bar. Okay, I'm just going to based on, because I thought she said she met him there, but also if they were invited on a blind date, whatever, and he showed up to meet her there. Yeah, okay. Suma's probably right. Suma's usually right, and it's in her contract that I say that. So, next question. Also, did anyone else notice Sarah's parenting plan calls for daily calls? And she said if she would like to have, the parenting plan. Yes, her written one. If she would like to have them with her son, how long will it take her to start not wanting to talk? She said the same thing in court, which surprised me because I didn't pick it up the first time until re-listening. She very clearly throws in that asterisk of like, if I would, exercise daily phone calls if I choose to. So she wants the out. She just wants the option, right? She doesn't want to sign up for any of the responsibility of like, hey, if I call him every day, I got to keep that pattern consistently. I can't just ghost him and be like, well, I choose not to call him every day for a month. Right? I choose not to call him for 2 weeks. Like she wants all of the control, none of the responsibility.
That would require her to listen to him, and for him not to listen to her. Because I mean, how much happens in a week with in prison with her? It's the same routine day in and day out. I mean, yesterday Sarah so-and-so got shivved. And I mean, there's just
got stabbed in the lunch line. He was hilarious. Put that bitch down.
Why are you going to tell that to your kid? You're not. Like, if you have
you wouldn't. But I mean, prison is not like a deployment in the military. There's routine. It's just routine after routine, and until something happens. But I mean, if she was to call him every day, like that would get old really quick, because there really isn't much in her life to report on. But would she be willing to listen to everything that her son is reporting on?
Probably not, especially if he is cursing or anything that in her mind he should not be doing. She's trying to put him in a box. And narcissistic people don't like when their children get older and have their own opinions and can talk back. and he's getting to that age where he's going to have his own opinions and he's going to curse. And, I mean, I have 3 teenagers. It's like they curse. I know they curse, it's okay.
Yeah, it's jarring though the first time you hear
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. You're like, because my son's room is over there, and I can hear him cursing sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck did he just say?"
Yeah, exactly.
Then I realize it's my own fault because he listens to me streaming. Sorry for the. I know this is a family show. I should use the, but I didn't.
It is a family show.
Yeah, this is a family-centered show.
We're talking about family court, so.
These are all family issues. Really quick, Carolina Hurtado, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. As mentioned in the previous video, I am releasing members-only content. I feel that is important to do as somebody who offers memberships. All 3 tiers have the same access, so don't feel like you have to go higher to get more. It's just if you feel like doing $2 instead of $1, whatever, it's $1. And so, it's out there. Yeah. Let's see here. Was it brought up that Sarah would call every day? Or this is from DoWill2204. This must be I think this is a Reddit one. All the ones in white are Reddit. All the ones in black are from your channel, Classified Crime. Was it brought up that Sarah would call every day and multiple times a day? My other question is, was she ever questioned about giving her flying monkeys Brian's phone number and address? So to the first part, yes. It was brought up that she was calling 6 or 7, 8 times a week. That was brought up. The multiple times a day wasn't explicitly testified to. That was something he definitely said out in the hallway. And there was nothing about the flying monkeys in the trial. Even when they choose to harass, they are so irrelevant that they're not even brought up in court motions.
They didn't even have the nerve to show up in court. There was nobody on her side.
No, nobody. Nobody cares about the flying monkeys. They're so irrelevant. They're so stupid. I mean, how could you? I was telling Classified Crime, like, why would you choose to talk to Sarah? She's like a cheese grater on your kneecap, but in your eardrums. Like, why would you do that? I hate listening. I hate myself when I impersonate her. I literally hate. I sent Suma and Derek a text last night of myself reacting to myself in that one video where I'm playing Brian and her, and I'm like, I cannot stand I cannot stand. It just, the voice is in there, and they said, well, you dance with the devil.
Somebody asked me what it was like in court listening to Sarah's voice screeching, and I was like, it was very painful. I felt like I needed an aspirin, right away. It was because she was practically shouting into the speaker. At least it sounded like she was shouting.
EDBD. Yeah, it was not, and that's what I tried to recreate with that audio in the recreation. It was not a pleasant experience hearing her. Not that it ever is, but just audibly, it could have been, I don't know, it could have been Anthony Hopkins reading a book of poetry, right? His voice is very soothing, but over that phone system, you'd have been like, come on, stop it.
I remember telling the bailiff as we were exiting
Welcome, Andy Strong.
The courtroom, and the bailiff was he was holding the door open, letting us out. I remember telling him, I feel bad for you, because he seemed like he was like, he wanted to get the hell out of there. And he goes, that's all right, it's my job.
Did you happen to ask him if he knew anything about her before? I mean, I know we asked everyone, or everyone we tried to ask. I think he got some enjoyment at the end because he was smiling a lot that last hour, especially when it came to the parenting plan questions. You're being like, how am I supposed to exercise every weekend? The judge's like, you can't. Or like, that's why we're here, ma'am. So why is this being brought up now?
And that bailiff was awfully young. I mean, he looked like he was straight out of high school.
Yeah, he did look young. A drunk falling and getting bruises makes sense. Well, but we never saw any pictures of I don't believe those were bruises. That's the whole point. Like, there's not an alternate explanation for the bruises. They don't look like bruises. Her face but that is actually a good point. Her face getting scratched up or something because she tripped down the stairs or whatever. Maybe she goes to the bar and she's got a huge scrape on the side of her face and she says, "You came at me. Can I have a beer, please?"
A sympathy beer?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Here you go.
I don't know if everyone saw the trailer to this stream, but Larry asked a very poignant question when you're there.
Hard-hitting questions that the standards need to know.
And the bartender had this great answer. Let's just see this here.
If you had to create a drink called the Sarah Boone, what would be in it?
It would be me taking the drink mat and pouring it into a glass.
Would she notice?
No.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Fruity.
It's so fruity. What is this?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was
Now doing it?
You know what? I'll call it the Sarah Boone.
Yeah, it's called the Boone.
She goes around the bar. She's like, "You know they named a drink after me?
You know it.
Here, taste this. Taste this. Isn't it great? They named it after me."
I love how you like this.
Comments have me wheezing. Know that. You're welcome. Hear me out. Another $2. Thank you, both of you. Sneaka or Bloodbath and Carolina Hurtado. Okay, now Suma's yelling at me with all caps and text. I don't understand what you're saying, Suma. She said, no, that's what she said when she ran out of her townhome.
And we found out Sarah's drink of choice there was vodka and cranberry juice.
Yeah.
I know what Suma's talking about. She's saying one of the body cam footage where the police showed up. She says, "It's you guys," or "It's two guys," when she came out almost flying out of her apartment. I mean, townhome, excuse me.
Oh, yes, townhome.
My townhome.
Now, Suma's going to be all caps the rest of the night. It's just going to be ridiculous. I've offended her.
How could you?
I don't know. And they gave something else that was said. By the way, for those who are missing Two Blind Crew, we will be going live tomorrow night. And X-Derek should be there, might not be there. He's really non-committal. So just look forward to that. Probably around 7 p.m. Pacific.
Hopefully YouTube will notify me.
No, but okay, Suma, I'm going to correct you on this. Put it in quotes. If you're quoting somebody, you put it in quotes, right? Unlike somebody that has been that tried to have a comment war with me, where they kept putting literal items in quotes, making the comment stupid, like putting wigs in quotes, saying you're wearing wigs. I'm like, it's not in quote. These are wigs. These are not figurative wigs. These are literal wigs. Why are you putting wigs in quotes? It should have just emailed. Hear me out. Just email the pics of how easy fake bruises are. Okay, so you're gonna you're gonna give me some evidence. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, now this is Piapoo, which is actually my pro se client. By the way, if anyone wants to know how to craft snarky, self-deprecating, and cutting and hilarious comments, just follow my pro se client. He has it down to a T. He is great at it. You will see in this one. So, okay, so first one is, had Winter Park recently become so dilapidated and ill-maintained? When I was in high school, Winter Park used to be the posh area, and all my rich classmates lived there. It looks so destitute in the streams. Well, I would say, my pro se client, you know, if you're in a trailer, it's still kind of posh. So if you don't have running water, my pro se client, and you're still going to the community well or something, I would still say it's posh compared to that. So I don't know what the situation was for you back in high school. I would say independently, it is not what I would describe as posh. Is my pro se client even here? No, he's gonna have to see this on the replay. How did patrons at the Muldoons react to the Lake Stevens Pride shirt you wore on Sunday? That was the purple shirt, I guess. It doesn't say Lake Stevens on it, so They were fine with it. Will we ever get the Hear Me Out t-shirt for sale in your merch shop? Well, I don't have a merch shop yet. I am trying to figure out how to set that up. Not because it makes money or anything. I think Classified Crime, you said you just started it. There's very low margin. So I don't even care if I don't get anything on it. But if people want to buy the shirt, because I like the shirt.
I like the shirt too. I'm
trying to find one that I'm not going to front a bunch of money. So I don't have the capital to invest it, seeing as I was not getting paid up until this week for like a month and a half. And the mortgage is due, right? Or mortgage needs to be paid. But yeah, I would like to set that up with the design, and then hopefully it's of a good quality. But then, people just pay and get the shirt if they want it. How does Larry look when he's not in a suit? Well, you can see him right now. He's not in a suit.
He looks awesome.
Why, thank you.
How fabulous does Tanika look in person? Be careful, because we don't tolerate Tanika slander. Tanika looks fabulous in person. Tanika look exactly in person like she does on stream, and she acts exactly the same. I would dare say that everyone that I know through this community acts exactly as they do in real life as they do on stream. These are not character acts. Because working alongside gorgeous people like Suma, Tanika, Danny, Siobhan, Larry, Skinny Brian, Pro Se, make you ever want to buff up for the camera? Well, the problem is, my Pro Se, you just look so good, right? Larry looks so good. It's like you guys have already got 4 laps on me. What's the point? Why start now? I'm still gonna be dead last. Sincerely, thank you for making me look kind of gorgeous and skinny compared to you, my Pro Se client. See, that's like I said, this man has it down. He knows exactly how to ride that line. So, thank you, my Pro Se client. Hazel Grant, I know you covered a bit already, but I'd love to hear more about your impressions of Brian. How are his spirits from a distance? I've no doubts he endured the same belittling abuse we saw George endure in the videos, and my hope for him is healing and peace. Larry, why don't you go first?
Yeah, he looked great in court. And he is a lot taller and bigger than George, so I think that he endured a lot more than George did. Like he even said that when Sarah came at him with her claws, he had more restraint and George didn't. And so I think that he definitely was the calmer one in that relationship. My heart goes out to the man. I don't know how he survived all those years with Sarah. I mean, without putting her in a suitcase. I mean, she just shrieking voice. And
I don't know how Brian did it.
Yeah, but I shook his hand in the hallway. I didn't know what to say to him because I think somebody else mentioned that to him, that we're all on his side. But he seemed very affable. He just his attorney as well. They came to court prepared. Sarah didn't. He looked like he had lost some weight since the trial. So
yeah, I got the picture up here of him outside the trial, but he actually even looks skinnier than this. So the camera ends.
I think he lost some weight since Sarah's criminal trial.
Yeah, but this is at immediately after he strode in, sat down. Like the man's got his leg up, he's relaxing, he's looking at his phone, right? He's not sitting there stressed, bouncing his knee up and down, worried about what's going to happen, right? This was his day, and he was very candid. I would say that. I
loved his answers. That just some of the most memorable parts of the hearing came from him, like, "'Cause I don't care."
Yeah.
I love when he said that. It's like it shocked her. She kept wanting to bring it up, and he was just being brutally honest. She deserved to hear that, because I don't care.
I think she was stunned when he said that.
Well, she thinks it's evidence. She thinks it's a crime to not care.
Yeah, that's why she always puts his name in quotes, former husband.
Did you
But the
catch when?
word prior to husband tells you right there why he doesn't care. Former. You just wrote it.
Did you guys catch when she used his middle name? Like,
Yeah,
she was treating him some sort
Brian.
of
I think it was
child.
Calloway.
Yeah,
right?
like call. You know how
Well,
when you were really in trouble,
it's my recreation. I don't know if you saw that, Larry.
when you were really in trouble, in when you were small, and your mom or your dad or usually your mom would call your first, middle, and last name like it was on your tombstone. You know.
Yeah. I would say so. To Paige said he sounded very relaxed in court. I would say that was purposeful on his part. He was not. I would not say he is somebody. He was calm on the stand. Let's put it that way. He was much more animated at his table and outside the courtroom than he was on the stand, and that is somebody who is control, who knows how to act appropriately in court, even when you're being grilled by your nightmare ex. I know, like in my reenactment, I say one time he goes, Jesus, right? Which he did do, which I wrote down. He said, Jesus. Like, he could not believe that she was still acting like this in front of other, because I think probably you get the impression that somebody is acting terrible to you, right? And then putting on a different face in front of the court, especially in her letters and that kind of stuff. Or like, when she's acting properly in all the motions hearings. But this wasn't that Sarah. This was interrogation room Sarah. This was somebody that was letting the mask slip because she cannot control herself. Her emotions and her hatred for her ex-husband are boiling over, and he managed to he did not get triggered at all by her into doing anything wrong. So his behavior outside the court, though, like there was a lot more frustration, and I would say not anger, but like exasperation. That's the word I would use in his voice when he was talking to his lawyers outside, saying like, I want this to end. Like, I just need her to not be calling my house every day, calling my son every day. I need a break. But he didn't do that on the stand, which was smart by him, because it's just testimony. You don't need to get emotional on it. But yeah, he's probably as animated as I was talking about the beekeeper to his lawyers, talking about Sarah in her funeral trial. But yeah, I don't know. Did you have anything to say classified or?
Yeah, and not to mention the cost, because I totaled up the cost of, I have call logs through July 16th currently from Lowell, January 2nd through July 16th. He's had to pay $224.58 for the son's phone calls and $29.67 for the calls she's made to him that he's answered.
Do you want to put that up there or something? Because the time, the call logs.
I have a chart. Let's see.
Well, yeah, he said these calls then start to add up.
Yeah.
Almost $300 in just 6 months. So he's spending a lot of money. And he is court ordered to facilitate the calls, which I hope that will change for him.
I hope
because
so.
I don't think he should be having to do that.
Well, he's smart though, because he said in court, he goes, no, it's not a half hour if you want to have 2 calls back to back, which I didn't pick up when I was hearing it live, right? But it made more sense after that. He's saying, oh, okay, you get basically 1 session a week, right? So if you call and then you run out of 30 minutes, you can have another call after that. He knows that a 14-year-old boy is not going to want to stay on the phone for 2 hours with his mother, right?
Right.
Like, he's being generous too. I mean, if I was in his shoes, I'd want to terminate her parental rights altogether, because I don't think I think communication between her and her son is unhealthy for him. It should be his choice, his choice alone. If he wants to talk to his mother, that should be his decision. If he wants to block her permanently forever or never go to prison to see her, that should be his choice.
And I think the delicate balance for Brian is you have to stand back and let your child realize who the other parent is and make that decision for themselves. Right. If you're telling them, oh, your mother's toxic, then what she's telling him is going to be reinforced by that.
And you'll get a situation like Dolores Claiborne where she killed the abusive father and she forgets, and then she grows up hitting her mother, thinking like you just twist around, romanticize it. So the only way you can combat that is go ahead, talk to her. But it's not going to be every day, right? I mean,
right. Once a week is more than reasonable.
Yeah. It's more generous than I would have been.
hello, Human Tooth. I sent you the invite. I don't know if you saw that. You could have joined us, but yeah. Is like I said, that's a Perry Mason moment. She got him to admit under oath they are just 13.5 cents per minute. She got that evidence in, and he was cooked. He was cornered. He'd agreed to it before. Because nothing can ever change. Although I would argue she should have an example of when things change, like you murdered your ex or your boyfriend, like he's no longer alive, so that's a big change. You've been in prison since then. Now, or jail in prison, that was a big change when you were free, right? So things seem to change a lot for you, Sarah, especially when you got divorced and you had to move out of your house into a town home or an apartment.
It's home.
Yeah. Oh, there. Okay, here's the call logs. So,
If you look in the last column, that's the total time that she's spoken to each of these people.
yeah, look at that.
January through mid-July at Lowell.
I mean, 27 hours for her son.
Yes.
Oh my God. I cannot think of anything worse.
That's even
Brian
worse.
had like an hour in January, right? Like right after the verdict and stuff. So that kind of makes sense. But I love that Brian's falling off to like 1 minute, 3 minutes, 13 minutes. Like, I'm not talking to you. I don't need to talk to you.
1 minute. And that could be her leaving him a voicemail for all we know.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, it says calls accepted, so it can't be a
voicemail.
voicemail.
I don't know if it classifies a voicemail as like it's picked up, because I think it still charges the same. So
I guess, yeah.
but yeah, 27 hours of phone calls he's paid for.
Second only to Peter.
Yep. Peter is the number one. Nicole is trying to climb. She's trying to climb.
She's trying.
And she's the main one in the chat sticking up for Sarah too.
27 hours listening to Sarah. That's like worse than listening to Lauren for even 5 minutes.
Well,
No,
I love listening to Lauren calls.
I'm talking about when he's singing. I'm talking about when he's singing.
Oh, he's singing.
Yeah, because every time, remember I told you every time I'm watching when you've got a show about
You mean
Lauren,
like this?
He's
It's all that really matters. Someday, baby, you and I are gonna be the ones that good luck's gonna shine.
by looking at
I've got a golden retriever. I've got a golden retriever that used to belong to some friends of mine, and they didn't want to take him overseas with them, so they left him with me. And he's effectively my dog now. But when we're first watching the Lauren streams and Lauren started singing, my dog would howl in pain, and I'd have to put on headphones and listen. I couldn't listen with the volume on because he'd howl every time that Lauren started singing. But now he just left the room, so I think he
Ravina Denver, that's unfair. Listen to this. That is an angel. That is an angel singing that.
who's he singing to?
He's gone. My dog looked at
Brian
me
Adams. You can tell that was
room.
Brian Adams.
Before he left the room, he took one last look at me like he was like, "I hate you."
I don't understand. So, how does Nicole afford? All these calls to Australia, right?
Well, Tanika's
22 hours worth of Australian calls.
She uses like a WhatsApp type number where it's making it a local call or an in-state call.
Yeah, but is she really calling from overseas? I mean, do you hear any didgeridoo in the background, or
We have no way to know.
Dingo ate my baby.
Hey, get that dingo out of here!
Somebody in the
Porn creeps
chat,
you out.
Suma saying Aussies love WhatsApp in the chat.
we love WhatsApp. It's best thing down here.
Wait, real quick. Tanika, yes, Lauren is creepy only when he's like at the surface level, right? But then once he repeats himself and humiliates himself by saying stupid things, he becomes funnier and funnier. That's why.
I still can't believe he was in the Air Force. I still can't. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, next comment here. Which one is it? Is there some guy wandering around there called Boo? Who is Boo? Now, I don't understand this comment. I've never heard the Boo reference in terms of Sarah. I've heard Boo in terms of Catch a Predator. Hey, Boo.
You think might be referring to someone in the bar named Boo?
Oh, maybe in the bar.
Not that we could tell. I mean, there were no patrons in there that remember, just the bartenders. And that's something else. You polled people, and I also polled people while we were there about if they knew who Sarah Boone was, and I forgot what our total number ended up being.
There was only one person.
Yeah, there was the bartender at the hotel.
The bartender.
Yeah, and then there was the Uber driver.
The Uber driver had heard of her. But the bartender was as in the know beyond the family or like as in the know as you could be on the criminal trial. Yeah. As I would say the bartenders were, right? That one person, one out of everyone I asked people in Seattle that were traveling to Orlando. Hey, you know about Sarah Boone, don't you? And they're like, nope.
But it kind of her, Sarah's argument about not being able to receive a fair trial in the city of Orlando because of the notoriety of her case. Total
bullshit.
Yeah, it is. It's because as far as I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, as far as I could tell, nobody heard of her.
No,
which is wild to me, because if I lived in Orlando and that happened, I would be all over it.
The bartender did say, since they knew her, that they were watching the entire trial live as it happened. So they were watching it at work.
Perfect.
They can have ESPN on and hey, everybody, shh, the trial's about to start.
And the one female bartender that we recorded there, she said, she followed it all. She followed everything. Like as a lawyer was getting rejected, she followed it. But nope. But that was also interesting. All these people that knew about the criminal case, none of them understood that the family law case was still going on. None, like I had to explain, she's trying to get her alimony back tomorrow. She's still trying to get shared custody. And they're like, what? The concept that she hadn't already lost custody was very confusing to them, which it was confusing to me as well. I think it should be like almost, I know it's family court versus criminal court, but there should, you're not allowed to vote or something as soon as you're a felon, right? They have all that stuff. You're not allowed to carry a firearm, blah, blah, blah. Why not go ahead and say, and your children's rights are all transferred to the other parent who's not in prison, right?
Right.
Like, why do you have to go to family court to do that when they've been convicted of a felony that they will never get out of prison for?
It seems like a no-brainer to me, but apparently she had case law. You heard the case law. So.
Yeah, the case law did not. It was actually the opposite of what she thinks it is. But yeah, now she's got KSM's lawyer. I was telling Suma that, Suma, he was probably defending me like waterboarding is the worst torture ever, right? And then he's going to spend 5 minutes with Sarah and be like, oh my God, no.
If you can defend a terrorist, you can defend a narcissist.
That's the worst. Or he's getting punked by the rotation of, because of this appointment. He's like, come on, I had KSM, now you give me Sarah Boone. And if he withdraws, he's like, look, I can't stand her. He defended the 9/11 terrorist KSM. And he's like, some people just don't deserve a lawyer.
Like,
I
just
can't.
send me down to
can't do
Gitmo
it,
with the terrorist. Send me down to Gitmo with the terrorist. I'm fine with them. I can't handle this woman.
Yeah, some people are just too evil to defend, Your Honor, and Sarah Boone is one of them. I got to go back and talk to KSM. Where are we at on this one? Does anyone know what happens if their son does not want to attend one of the monthly meetings? Can he say no, or Brian will be in contempt? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either. I wish we had a lawyer in the chat could answer that one. But I would suspect that the first time, the call doesn't go through, she'll probably want to file a motion or charge something, but she won't let it go.
Definitely
Robin,
not.
well, Robin, you might know. Robin, you're ADR. You might know the answer to this question. Robin, help us. But Robin also pointed out it was a military court hearing for KSM, and the lawyer was in JAG at that point. Robin, can you tell us what happens if her son or if his son refuses, like he's just not complaining? He's like, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not getting in the car to go to the jail. Does anything happen to Brian? What protections does Brian have? Because, like, other than, forcing him into the car, which isn't going to be good for either of them, like their relationship, like they shouldn't be forced through that. But what happens, Robin? Robin, tell us. Robin! We'll move on to the next one. Hopefully Robin responds in there. Okay, now we're going to a question from your channel. Oh, we answered this one, the papers to shuffle.
Go with the papers.
Okay.
I could have swore I heard paper shuffling, but
was he able to overhear Brian saying to his attorney and his assistant that wasn't on the record? Yeah, I think I covered that before. He was basically going on and on about how ridiculous she was in her trial at the table, right? About her allocution statement being insane. He was just much more animated outside the court about how much he wants to be rid of this woman, which you think would be possible for somebody you divorced 5 years ago and lives in prison. You would think you'd be able to get them out of your life, but somehow Brian can't. Okay, Robin responded here. Brian is the party to the case, but her son cannot be held in contempt if he refuses to talk to her or see her. He's not a party to the parenting plan. Yeah, right. No, but what happens to Brian because Brian's supposed to facilitate it, and we all know that if her son refuses to talk to her, that she's going to say Brian is withholding the phone calls, or she's going to make up some kind of that stuff, and she's going to bring this motion. And Brian's only defense would be like, hey, I'm trying to get him to talk to him. Would it just be at that point, Robin, a conversation that the judge would have, like, with the son, being, you don't want to talk to her? And he would just say, no, I don't want to always talk to her, right? I assume that would be it. Is that the remedy, I guess? Have our ears healed from having to listen to Sarah screeching for so long? My brain hasn't healed. Larry, what do you think?
yeah, I'm much better now. But I really had a bad headache at the court. When we got back to the hotel, the beer really hit the spot. It was like she's enough to drive you to drinking. Like, if I don't know if Judge Jackson drinks, but I'm sure by the time she got back to her chambers, she probably needed a drink after having to listen to Sarah.
Robert responded, Sarah would have to show Brian is not stopping. I assume Brian is stopping it. Yes, the judge would probably talk to the son then. And assuming that the son says, I don't want to talk to her, there's nothing more. No, I just said I don't know that my brain's healed, Derek. Keep up. I actually felt great leaving the trial. It was everything I wanted it to be. It was the trial. I was hoping that she was gonna be pro se for her criminal trial, right? That I was writing letters to everyone, emails being like, oh my God, she's going to be pro se. It's going to be so great in her criminal trial. And then I was deprived by that with Owens. It still turned out good, but I mean, this was the trial I wanted to see. Her up there making a complete mess out of it. And despite her voice, I could not stop laughing to myself. There, at no point was I getting angry. When I do the head roll, it was just like, come on, are you kidding me? Like, you can't be this stupid. Or, you know, maybe the only frustration was her pacing at the end with like, and then I want to do this one, and then I want to do this. But when she was talking, it was great. I loved it.
The latter part was hell. It was.
It was hell because it wasn't real content, right? I want to hear more crazy stuff come out of your mouth, Sarah. I want to hear more stupid questions. I don't want to hear you reading off this paper that we could barely hear you quote these lines that for cases that don't exist.
Well, how many issues did she have with papers during the criminal trial? Keeping up with them, organizing them, the whole discussion about rubber bands, and like it's like she can't keep up with papers. They're too much for her.
I don't think she reads. I really don't. I think she reads.
She skims.
Yeah. I don't think she reads anything. She obviously she writes a lot, but I don't think she reads anything that even her flying monkeys send her. She probably just, like you said, she just skims through it, and doesn't actually take the time to read it and try to understand, the legal definitions and all that. I don't believe she reads anything.
And you could clearly hear she's skimming or something, because in the trial when she's questioning Bryant, there are such long pauses. It's not like it's on an international delay via the satellite with like a TV interview where they're going, yes, thank you, and there's like a 3-second pause in between the back and forth conversation. This is a real-time phone call, and after Brian gives an answer, there's 3 to 5 seconds of pausing while I guarantee you she's looking at the paper and just going, why, like she's just picking things out, looking for certain words, not a list of questions she had. Because if she had the list of questions, which she does at certain points, I think that's when you can tell that they're written down. Like, do you drink? Do you drink in front of our son? Right? There's no long pauses there because she's got that written out pregame.
Well, she's already got that. She's still trying to hash out old arguments in her head.
Yes. Yeah. Things that she realized don't matter at all. Like the guardian ad litem stuff. That was so ridiculous. Why are you bringing it? The judge told you we weren't going to have it. Why are you asking Brian about how many times you asked for it? What is a good answer to that sound like to you, Sarah? What if you said it a million times? What difference does that make? The judge still said no. Papers make her feel important. Yeah, kind of. I think it also frustrates her. She feels like she's getting, not to use Adelson term, but depoed to death. Does he love Snoopy as much as we do? Is Snoopy your dog or something? I don't understand the Snoopy reference.
Yeah, he's my little doggy, and he sits under my desk, and I have him on all my little videos.
Well, I grew up with a Snoopy stuffed animal that I got from Knott's Berry Farm, if that does anything for anyone.
I wish I could show you a picture of my dog, Snoopy. He was, out of all the dogs I had growing up, he was my favorite, and he also lived the longest. I remember that was how I first saw your channel. Was I caught the name when I was doing a search for Sarah Boone, and I saw Snoopy. Oh, let's click on this one.
Yes. Here, I just shared him. Snoopy detective dog.
I don't see it yet.
Oh, it says there was an issue in my file. Never mind, I didn't share it.
You trying to send me a virus?
Yes. We already have a virus. We're
do you realize you're under oath? That what? Every time Sarah said that, she thought she was Perry Mason. Like, you realize you're under oath, don't you?
She did.
She thought she was doing something. Moving to Gainesville
improve your employment or financial opportunities if you are still, in quotes, unemployed.
Next question.
No, I mean this is. But I wasn't surprised by this at all. Like this is a very pro se thing to do, right? Where you think it's a gotcha moment. I mean, the appropriate way to do it is if you're a prosecutor or a defense attorney, right? And you've got a witness on the stand who's been giving some very dodgy answers. This would have applied in the Adelson case with the with her best friend Abigail or whatever, when she's just making up stuff left and right, where you could tell when she's called back up to say, oh yeah, no, it must have been WhatsApp. Well, do you realize WhatsApp didn't have phone calls? Oh, well, then it would have been whatever. Like that would have been appropriate. Like, I just want to remind you, you're under oath. Like, you remind it ahead of the answer. You don't say it afterwards. That's the proper, like, intimating to the jury or the judge that this person is going to be deceitful. You don't say it afterwards, be like, you're supposed to tell the truth, don't you know? Like, because the better action is to impeach them with something that you can contradict their statement. You don't just say, you do realize you are under oath, because you sound like an idiot.
Can you imagine how she would have been if she had been there in person trying to say that?
I don't know. Yeah, she just... I don't know. I think it ended up being better because one of the questions coming up will clarify on that. Okay, so did she really call herself uneducated in an opening statement? Yeah, she did. She's not trained in the law. I'm uneducated.
But she's a straight A student. Don't forget.
Right.
Well, she uses things to her advantage when they behoove her to do so. So I don't know what I'm doing. Forgive me, because you made me not have representation when I wrote a motion for one. So, and it's always someone else's fault. But then if you're accusing her of not knowing what's going on, then that's when she's smart.
Yeah, she really is. I think I said this to Seema, or maybe you, classified crime, or somebody. She's self-deprecating when she feels it fits her. It gives her an advantage, right? Oh, I don't know what when her statement at the end of her criminal trial, her allocution, she said, "I had a lot to say, but didn't know how to say it." Right, like trying to lower the bar. She's always constantly trying to lower the bar for those who are going to be judging her. Oh, I'm trying to do my best. I don't know what I'm doing. As if it's somehow like you're going to be graded on a curve, or trying to get sympathy from people. But it doesn't make sense, because that's not how the world works. You can't show up for your concert that you're supposed to perform and go, oh, I'm really sorry. I just started playing this instrument, and I don't really know the music. So
run for your life.
So forgive me if I'm not perfect here, because she's still going to be good. She's still going to be good. She's not going to be perfect like she is in everything, right? And you have to understand the reason she isn't perfect is because I was just thrown into this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not educated. I'm not a lawyer. Brian has a lawyer. This is so unfair. It's really annoying. It's really immature to do that. You can have a misunderstanding of the way the world works in terms of, for instance, when I was younger, right? My belief was that, if I might not always be the first in, but if I'm the hardest worker, or I'm do the best results, right, that won't really be an issue. It was a hard reality check to realize later that no, for most of the world, office hours are very important for some reason, instead of the quality of work. So then my goal from that point was to make myself irreplaceable, or you can't fire me even if I'm showing up late, because I'm the only person that knows this now, and I've destroyed all the other written manuals. So you can adapt your life to whatever you want, but you can't just rewrite the rules on a fly like she tries to do. or the grading curve. Chicago Hood, $5. Thankful to find this true crime family. Love how you all support each other. Know that. Can't wait for the 5-page closing. I mean, I'm excited.
Yes. I check every day. I check multiple times a day.
It'll probably be margin to margin, header to footer, size 6 font is if she.
Somebody said in comments that they think she will turn in a closing argument for each topic. I think
no.
But the Judge
which makes
Jackson
perfect
won't
sense.
accept that though. She won't accept anything over 5 pages.
But she's going to turn in 5 of them. They're all 5 pages.
Yeah, but Judge Jackson, I got the impression from Judge Jackson that she's no nonsense. She's cut from the same cloth as Judge Kranick. She's not going to have any she'll probably read the first 5 pages and cut it off there.
The entire courtroom was drained when they took a break. I wasn't drained.
I was. She was exhausting.
I was pumped. I was like, that was awesome. That was great.
It was awesome, but also she was draining because she kept going off the rails and into the forest, and the locomotive went, cutting down trees and into a pond. I mean, I guess it's just the expectation. Like, that's what I came for. I knew that was going to happen, right? Like I would have been disappointed if it wasn't quote unquote like the draining experience that you all had. Yeah. I would have been upset if it wasn't that. Well, it's just that I think that everybody needed a smoke 'em if you got a moment, like from Brian and his attorney. I mean, it just seemed like as soon as we were recessed, everybody bolted for the door. just I gotta have a cigarette, or I gotta get some fresh air or something.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I think the panic was after the court finished, right? Because apparently that place shuts down at 5, and we were trying to find our way out of the building. Like, everything was like blocked off. We're like, how do we escape this courthouse? And we were seemingly the only people left. Like, everyone else had vanished from the face of the earth. We're like, we're still people in here. Doesn't anyone care that we're in this place that is apparently closed now? How do we get out?
The bailiff had to show us out the back door.
Are you kidding me?
No, he had to show us out the back way because the front was closed off.
Everything was closed off. Yeah. Like, we could just sit here. Like, I could have gone up a floor, laid on a bench, and spent the entire night in the building. Like, there was no clearing. Like, let's make sure everyone's out. It was like, well, building's closed. See ya. Like, but we're still in here.
We would have been wandering around. We would have been wandering around for quite a while.
Government employees get off at 5 promptly. There's no overtime.
And I don't know if I mentioned this on another stream, but when we first started, I think I maybe mentioned it on the first live, but it was so messed up. It was funny because the bailiff comes out. We didn't even know anyone was in the courtroom at that point, right? But apparently they were in there. And the bailiff comes out and it's like, is there any witnesses or parties for this trial, right? And then so Brian and his lawyer and the assistant step up and stuff. Like, all right, you can come in. And then so he closes the door. And then I think somebody heard like calling them out, or like heard official business going on. It's like, well, they're starting. And so then we're all sitting out there like, do we go in? And then I opened up the door because I stepped up. I'm just gonna say I stepped up. I said, open up the door, stuck my head to I was like, can we come in now? And he's like, who are you? Like, we're the public. We're the spectators. And he's like, he does this look. He does this look. He's just like,
yeah, kind of like eyeing us over, like,
yeah, like, he's like, all right, come on, like he was deciding whether he was going to let us in, like.
Well, he's fresh out of the academy. He looked like, he literally looked like he was so young that, he must have just been the first assignment out of the academy or whatever to, like, all right.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was like, wait a minute. Why do I feel like I'm Like, I thought it would be more obvious, right? Like, where he would just be like, yeah, no, sit here, or whatever. He's just like,
Like we were crashing
All right.
a party or something, you know?
all right, yeah. This one time, I'll let you in.
Are you with the bride or the groom? The groom? All right.
So I just made that come. It was funny to me. But what if he had said no? What are we gonna do? Watching him with Tanika, I think him is me and Tina. Now I kind of want to ask for the top 10 Brian Boone moments, because Brian Boone sounded like he was on fire. What were you? Well, let's do top 5 each, right? So what do you got, Larry?
The one where he said, because I don't care to talk to you. And also when he said, because I don't care. And when she said, or, when she was asking about not being able to have a say or something like that. And he goes, because you can't.
Yeah.
Basically, he just those are the 3 that stuck out in my mind the most, because he's basically letting her know, giving her a reality check. Like, he did everything but say, you're in prison. You're going to be there the rest of your life. You got no say. You got no dog in the fight. You're done. But those are the 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, and of Brian anyway.
I'd say my top 3, my number 1 obviously is when she asked him, are you familiar with my criminal trial? And he goes, oh yeah. I almost died inside at that. I was like,
it was better than the
it was the
Kool-Aid
best
Man,
answer you could have given, not just like yes. Oh yeah.
It was better than the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar. Yes, and Tanika just called out my another one when she keeps after the you can't do this, you can't do this. So why is this being proposed? And he is totally lost. But we're all lost at that point. Like, I mean, I knew she was looking at the wrong agreement, but we're just lost. Like, this line of questioning, besides being irrelevant, like the other questions about drinking and all this kind of stuff, you are not even asking about what we're deciding on the parent. You're asking about the wrong parenting plan for questions you should be able to answer yourself. Like, I can't do this, I can't do that. What are you eliciting at this point, ma'am? And he's just like, I'm confused. Like, what?
It's like we all looked at him like, you ain't the only one who's confused. We're all trying to figure it out.
I also liked it when she asked him, why is he upset? Why is our son upset after I talk to him on the phone? He just goes, the way you talk to him, the things you say to him, all the emotions that you corrupted, like questions that you shouldn't be. That Sarah shouldn't be asking these questions. You shouldn't be asking your witness to provide testimony of how abusive you are. You don't ask those questions, Brian or Sarah. You stay away from that. But that's why. And he was even looking over it because there had probably been a pre-trial or a pre-hearing agreement or strategy, like don't disparage her or don't bring up hearsay necessarily. And when I'm talking to you, asking questions, and because he very clearly at that point he looked at her, he's like, as a lawyer, he's like, can I? And he just like, yeah, go ahead. The way you talk to him, the things you say to him. So I love that portion as well. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to come up with the top 10, but do you have another one, Larry?
Yeah, when she was bringing up COVID and because you didn't want him to get vaccinated, and it scared the crap out of me.
I also loved when he confirmed to us that I've read all your text messages. I've read all your tablet messages. Like, just on the record. Yeah, no, I've read them all. And I've never responded to him. Like, just outright saying it because he knows it's not a crime to not respond to a tablet message. And it doesn't make him look bad having read all of them to not respond to the tablet message. I love that. Just so I can know, because I had that question, right? It was always a theory. So that piece of knowledge from Brian helped. I also loved when he described the storage unit, right? And be like, you can come pick it up anytime you want, right? I picked it all up. It's all at my house. You can take it whenever. Like totally diffusing what might have been her only toenail on the shore of a reasonable point of saying, well, you got rid of all my mother's
Family
china or
heirlooms.
something. Family heirlooms, right?
For Fabergé eggs.
Maybe that becomes an issue if you can prove the value and you can prove that he willfully destroyed it. But he still has them.
Just get your brother to get a U-Haul and come down and pick up your shit.
Tina Perkins, $4.99. Thank you. I haven't played a lot of these. I'll play this one second here. Oh, no, the scroll's not working. Oh, no. It did this other time. Let me try switch this 1 second. No, this is bad. The scroll. So I can't choose the thing here. Like I'm gonna have to leave and come back because I can't bring up the quotes here. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, I'll play this.
Hello, everyone. This is Hear Me Out from Hear Me Out News. I'm standing in front of the Orange County Courthouse, where tomorrow Sarah Boone will finally receive her family law case trial after 5 years of waiting. I've been in the Orlando area for the past weekend speaking to residents, and I can tell you that there is a deep divide in opinion on Sarah Boone. On the one hand, an extreme minority believe that Sarah Boone's family law case should be picked apart and preyed on after it was made infamous by social media due to her criminal case.
All right, we're back. I got it. That worked. Woo! Where are the overlays? They're there. Yeah, I think that has some real big bugs in it that should be worked out. Classified crime, you're still on mute. There you go.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
My kid was in the room.
Classified
I'm being an
crime.
excellent mother. Don't judge me.
StreamYard really has some major bugs for its $55 a month price. Like I can't scroll up and down during a stream. You don't record the stream that I did. Like,
I can barely see the chat because I had to switch from Firefox to what's the Microsoft one that I never used?
Edge?
Edge. I had to switch to Edge because for some reason the StreamYard wouldn't play in Firefox. I don't know why. There's Snoopy.
There's Snoopy.
Snoopy, the detective.
All right.
Working hard.
Was it confirmed, or this was asked earlier, or mentioned that Brian's son had spoken to the judge privately beforehand? I don't think that happened.
No.
And it was not confirmed. Question: how was everyone's poker face when faced with moments like when Sarah claimed that her appeal would be successful and she'd be out soon? There you go. Ahead.
I had to refrain from laughing when she said she's I don't know where one finds a drug that would make one so delusional, but it's just she still thinks that her appeal is going to be successful and they're going to open up the prison gates and she's going to walk free and go to the nearest bar.
I mean,
pick up her car.
What's that?
Pick up her Kia Sorento.
Yeah, pick up her
Just get a jump start. She'll be good to go.
The Kia Sorento and drive to her townhome.
Yes.
Get her Fabergé egg collection out of storage.
No, first she's going to Publix to get the Woodbridge.
Oh my God! We found the Woodbridge not only at Publix but also at the Walgreens. It's
beautiful!
It's the moonshine of cheap store-bought wines. It's
the biggest bottle.
What's that?
I'll answer this question, and then I'll show some things I wanted to show with the route there. But when she started going, like I told Tanika, I think I said the same thing on Tanika's stream. Like it started to make me question her sanity for the first time. Like, is this person actually insane? This is not just blustering on paper. You're actually saying this in front of a judge now during your trial. You have to be you don't want to sound crazy in your family hearing. And there's nothing crazier than talking about how you're pending release from your appeal for murder. Like, what are you doing? I also Yeah, Judge Jackson did not. I think this is actually what I was going to mention earlier. This is what helped her being on the phone. We could all react how we wanted to. Like, we didn't have to keep a straight face. We didn't have to not roll our heads. Brian could say Jesus, and like just rolling his eyes. We were all free to act how we wanted, listening to Sarah's lunacy, and it was kind of, you know, I think it would have been much different if she was there. There probably would have been some admonitions or something, like at least of maybe us in the gallery, right, when we're reacting. I mean, we weren't yelling or anything, but you know, when she's saying this crazy stuff and we're rolling our heads.
You and I kept looking at each other like every now and then. When she'd say something stupid, you'd look over at me like, did she really just say that?
Yeah, like, did she just say that?
She did, and I'm like, God damn it!
I couldn't stop. I couldn't help my. I was doing a chuckle. I was doing like, and you know, I was keeping it down, right? But I would have been right behind Sarah, and she definitely would have heard that and whipped her head around, being like, "Who's laughing at me?" Like
everyone.
I would like this laugher removed from the courtroom. He is obviously here on Brian's behalf. Brian probably invited him here to laugh at me. This is not a laughing matter. I am a mother, and this is my son, and I need my money. White Credos. Why? Wikidros? Wicked Rose. There we go.
Wicked Rose, yes.
Wicked Rose. I did read books in school long ago, but not since then.
Not since then.
I kept muttering things underneath my breath because I was sitting way in the back, and I kept muttering like wise ass responses whenever Sarah would ask something stupid, like when she asked, you know, do you drink in front of our son? And he, you know, the judge had him answer, and he admitted that I have had a drink in front of our son, and I was like, well, he ain't locking people in suitcases, Sarah.
Yeah. I mean,
I have a theory. You remember when they handcuffed her in the interrogation and she said she had her medication out in her car for anxiety? I 100% think she was on some kind of a Xanax, which was intensifying the alcohol. 100%.
It could be. It could be.
I mean,
like at that moment, or like she was taking Xanax regularly, intensing that, and so she wanted to go get the Xanax. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, the latter. Like she was taking it regularly, and if you take Xanax or any benzodiazepine, you're going to. I work in pharmacy, so I'm going on a tangent, but you're going to intensify the effect of your alcohol. So I think she was popping her Xannies and drinking her Woodbridge on a regular basis, and that's why she was getting so drunk and inebriated to the point. I mean, even if you drank a whole bottle of wine, like, would you really be slurred that much? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I used to drink like a fish when I was a young airman, and I first came in the military. I could drink anybody under the table, but no matter how much I drank, you know, the next morning I would be able to piece things together. I wouldn't have just handed my phone over to the detectives and completely forgot that I had filmed this, you know, made a snuff film. She forgot about it until they started showing it to her, playing it, and then it all came back.
I mean, it was there.
What's that?
Like, she didn't even know it was there. So,
Yeah.
like, alcohol alone isn't going to wipe your memory like that.
No, you're right. It's not. And that's why I think you have a really good point there. That if you mix the drugs with the alcohol, then yeah, that could account for why she never remembered, you know, making the film until the detectives were showing it to her.
Yeah, Garita says Zanny the nanny. She knew Zanny the nanny. She knew Zanny the nanny. That's right, she did. I am, of course, speculating, but she had some kind of an anxiety medication that intensified the effect of her alcohol, and I think it was in the Xanax family. Could have been Valium or something similar, but that's probably what it was.
Well, I'm kind of confused. I've just been listening here. You guys are saying it's abnormal to take a rack of Bennies and some bonded whiskey before you start out the day?
Well, it's frowned upon.
Because I guess I'm in the minority, right?
Well, you know, my doc gave me some anxiety pills for the flight because I told her, look, long story short, I have this fear of flying ever since I worked on some crash site recoveries. So I used to just fill my flask full of scotch and drink it on the plane, or before I boarded the plane. But haven't been able to do that for a while. So I asked her for some anxiety pills or something that would mellow me out, man. And what she gave me, it says take 30 minutes before boarding. It didn't work. It was like taking a Tic Tac. It had no effect on me whatsoever. Hour into the flight, and I'm not even feeling drowsy or anything. I finally asked the flight attendant, like, I need some booze now. I gotta have something to calm my nerves. But you make a really valid point though. With it had to be not just the alcohol alone. It had to be some drug that she was on.
I mean, on the other end of the spectrum, I take Adderall and drink. So I mean, like lightens the effect of the alcohol, but
Yeah, Adderall is a stimulant. Xanax is not.
I remember when I first started taking Adderall in like college, and I would be at the party because I was of drinking age then, and I would just be drinking beers, and normally, or I'd just be holding like one beer for 4 hours. It was crazy. But then I would forget where I set it, so then I'd have to get another beer. So I'd just constantly be opening new beers and taking a sip from them, and then losing them around the house. But anyway, I was wiped out when I got back from the trip. This is a side tangent. I was wiped out. Like, I should have been the opposite because I had been on the East Coast. But when I landed at like 11, so it would have been 2 a.m. I guess. I don't know. I feel like I should have woken up because I wasn't going back to bed before 2 a.m. when I was on the East Coast. I slept till like 1 p.m. West Coast, so it would have been 4 p.m. East Coast time. It's the equivalent of like 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. East Coast. And I could have gone another 6. My parents were like, because their house lives next to the airport and they were going to drive me back home. And then the night before I had said, I'm like, oh, I want to we're going real early. Like maybe we go at 9. So I can get do you want to get up yet? I'm like, nah. Anyway. Okay, next question. This is one of yours, classified. Why don't you read it, classified? Go ahead.
All right. Did you, and if so, how, keep a straight face when Sarah was crashing and burning?
I guess that was kind of the same one as.
Kind of.
Yeah, no, I did not. I did not at all.
Was anyone, I have a follow-up question. Was anyone giving you side-eye from the professional side of the court? Like,
no.
Stop snickering like a mom in church looking over at you? Like,
no. I was worried, like I said before, I was worried about the bailiff. The bailiff, but for the reason I had a device that might look like a digital recorder sitting next to me. Not the saying that it was, but it was sitting next to me on the seat, and the bailiff was sitting to our left, to the left of Larry, left of Brian and everyone. He's sitting at this computer desk with this monitor on it. So I'm confused. I'm like, what could he be looking at? Right? Right. Well, like, he's there for a security purpose, so he's got to be observing stuff. Is he is this the courtroom? And it couldn't just be the stream, because then you would just look around, right? So what is he looking at? And then I was convincing myself, like, there's cameras up here, there's like 6 cameras, and he's like zooming in, like going enhance, and zooming in on my digital voice recorder to see if the light was flickering or anything. So I was very nervous about that, because he was keeping the straight face the entire time. And then, when I leaned forward, because my carpal tunnel, like Larry, you said people were asking if I was getting tired looking at me. I was getting tired of like writing on my arm, like, because I had 30 pages of notes. So then I would try and lean forward onto the whatever, the little wall. What do they call it? Is it the bar? Do they call it the bar or something?
like a little divider.
Baluster or something.
Yeah.
B or something. I can't remember.
Whatever, the divider, the one you go through, the little gate, so where you're in the court, where you're in the spectator room, right? I was leaning up against that, but then it was kind of rounded, so I was trying to lean it on this side so the top of my paper wasn't hanging over into the court, because I wasn't sure. I had no idea what the court rules would be, right? Like, oh, is this against the rules? So I don't want to lean over and get kicked out. I don't want my pad taken away. He had just barely let us in, right? He'd be looking. All right, you can come in. So I was very nervous about the one bailiff. The other bailiff that came in to relieve him, because I think he had to either use the bathroom or something, right? He got relieved by the other bailiff, right, Larry, for a short period of time. No, sitting on the right. That bailiff had a look on his face like he was playing solitaire at the computer, like he was not paying attention at all.
I think I recognize that the second bailiff. I think he looked like one of the bailiffs that was at Sarah's criminal trial.
He looked very familiar to me, and that's a good point. I might try and look for him, because he was not. He was smiling at the same time, right? And as he left, he gave me a wink or something, almost like, I don't know, maybe we're gonna hook up after the courtroom. Or no, but he was not as deadpan as the other sheriff, and I think it's because he knew exactly who Sarah was. Yeah, right. Like hearing it, and he wasn't laughing out loud, but he had like a look on his face to like you know. Right. Like you're enjoying this kind of. So I think I could have. He looked very familiar. I think he was one of the bailiffs that was at Sarah's criminal trial. I'll have to go and look again, but he looked very, very familiar. Like I forget names all the time, but I never forget faces. So I definitely remember him from somewhere. Sophie Meyer says that sounds like a gay wink. You were definitely summoned. Well, he abandoned us in the building. He wasn't. I figured if it was gay, he would have been waiting outside, being like, "I'm just making sure you guys get out of here, all right? Is your hotel close by? Maybe, you know."
And the hotel had a good bar. It did.
Hotel had a good bar. I just wish it was open more than 5 to 10 p.m.
Yeah. The only problem I think we had with that hotel was the Wi-Fi. Everything else was really good at that hotel.
The Wi-Fi was it. That was it. The Wi-Fi was the entirely trash, just trash. Not even a premium option to buy it and get better. You know, I would have gladly here's the free Wi-Fi, which they described as good for checking news articles and email, which is, kilobytes. The pool, I went to the pool on the last day. That was actually, I wish we probably should have gone up there on Sunday and spent some time up there. Like it was a nice area. Although I feel like I maybe got swimmer's itch from it, like a little, but I don't know. Yeah, anyway. Was that answer your question, classified?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Next question. Was it mentioned in court that Brian's attorney is suggesting, rightly so, that Sarah owes Brian? Wait, did I already? Okay, I think I divided this one up. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
See here. Were you surprised by the judge's tone / frustration when she had to repeat herself numerous times? Go ahead, Larry.
I think I quit counting after I think about 9 times where the judge reminded Sarah to stick to the topics at hand. I quit counting after that. But the tone of frustration in her voice just kept getting worse. By the end, you could tell that judge had had enough of Sarah Boone. You could tell that she was ready to be done with her for forever and ever and ever.
Real quick, sorry, EDBD, I missed this one in front of the Wicked Rose new member. They need to have a new prison program. Put Sarah, Donna, and Wendy along with Mackenzie Shirilla in a cell and have 24-hour cam watch for the public. I mean, it would be that is a great idea, right? If you need money for the prison systems, just go ahead and you make it a deal. Like you can't like, maybe there's a constitutional thing, like people can't be spied on. So you give the prisoners an option. Look, every hour that you're in the webcam cell, you get 25 cents towards commissary, right? They're going to be lining up for that cell. Like, yeah, I'll be on webcam. It would be the greatest. You charge $10 a month to stream it, right?
You mean like a prison OnlyFans type thing?
Ooh.
No, like a prison Big Brother kind of thing. Like that's what it sounds like, right? But they have to wear. It can't just be on camera. You have to wear the mic, the lapel mic, so we can hear everything you're saying. Oh, Sarah's dishing to Donna right now, and Mackenzie's over there like,
Oh,
man, I'm gonna put her down, because Mackenzie's so street, right? You know.
Yeah, she's hardcore.
you mean like one of those shows where they had
I don't give
I forget which one were they, one of those shows where they interview the person in the closet or whatever, or in the room, and they talk bad about the other people.
Oh yeah, every reality show ever.
Yeah, it's a reality show. I just can't remember what it was called, but where they basically talked on camera in a different room from the other people.
The Real World.
That might have been it.
Yeah, it may have been the real world. Yeah.
Yeah. They would dish all the drama that they were not saying in the room.
Prison Big Brother is what they're saying in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Brother Prison Edition.
You know how much money you could raise? You know how much better the facilities would be? They could have, this is an endless opportunity.
Okay, Sarah, here's the deal. You want money for commissary? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure your commissary fund is always fully stocked, but you got to have a camera on you.
But then I don't think Sarah would sign up for something like that. She'd be like, "You're going to make me the villain," right? She would.
Yes,
I don't know.
Exploitive. It's exploitation. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's
Sarah, do you want
exploitation
money for
for
commissary?
financial reward. You get you get 25 cents an hour being on camera. What do you?
You can have a 2-minute phone call for that.
It's your choice, Sarah. Money for commissary in exchange for wearing a camera 24/7.
So, as far as this question for you, Classifieds, this is one of your questions. I was surprised. I'll say I was just going based on my initial thought, trying to remember back. I was surprised at her frustration level at the beginning with the technology issues, right? Like, I feel like it was weird. It was like, is this the first time you've ever been to a different courtroom? Right? It was kind of like, it didn't make sense that she was that frustrated to me. Maybe it was the fact that she knew she was on limited time because we only have Sarah for so many, because it's somebody in jail. Maybe it was the fact that Sarah wasn't delivered, so she was going to have to wrap this up without being able to bring her back or something. Maybe it was just the pure thing of like she was doing all the steps that she was supposed to, but it wasn't working like it was in other things. Like the ultimate problem at the end was that she didn't turn on the overhead thing, right? Right, Larry? That was it. She had everything hooked up, but she hadn't turned on the big screen or something. So I guess
it was from. I guess she what she said. She's normally not in that courtroom. She's in her courtroom,
right?
And that was moved to that courtroom. And I might be partially to blame for that, because months ago when I called to confirm, I called her office. Looked up her phone number, and I called her. I talked to someone, or probably her clerk. And I asked, do you need that? Can anybody walk into the room, or do you have to be a witness? Or, I was just making sure that it was still on for that courtroom, and that, was there anything I needed to, credentials or something like that to get into there. And the person I talked to confirmed that it might change to a different room depending on if they're expecting a large number of people. And the person asked me, do you think there'll be a lot of people? I'm like, well, there are a lot of people at the criminal trial. I don't know. I could be, but maybe the clerk interpreted that and passed it on to the judge, and maybe that's why they decided to have it in that courtroom, because it's larger. So, and she's not normally set up in that courtroom. She's set up in her courtroom.
I was surprised that one thing is it was an obvious frustration. I was surprised at how many times she repeated the instructions to Sarah. I would have cut it off way before then.
Eventually she did. I'm not going to say it again.
She said at the very end, like when she's asking for a closing, I'm not saying it again. right? But she kept repeating it over and over. I wouldn't have done that. But I wasn't surprised by the frustration, just because I don't think I would be surprised by anyone being frustrated by Sarah, right? Like, this is like, it would have been surprising to me if she wasn't frustrated by
True. Very
right?
true.
Which tells me also that she probably, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't think she followed Sarah's case, but who knows? I mean, because she already had to deal. I think she was already frustrated coming in, knowing that Sarah was just writing these long letters, right? Knowing this was already going to be difficult. And then the IT issue. I think if the IT issue hadn't been there, I think we would have gotten a much different version of the judge. I think that kind of set her off. That was already under her skin. She was already irritated. And then Sarah's stupidity, you're just stacking it on top of that. She's like, I've got this IT issue that cut my time short. They didn't bring that person down, and she's an idiot. And
in her laptop, don't forget her laptop. She was having problems with her laptop dying, and she had to get her aide to go fetch the charger for her laptop, and then the jail. She
was actually pretty calm about that one, and I think the reason she was calm about that is because she knew at that point Sarah had gone down the wrong, the side path so many times that there's not going to be an issue of like, we ran out of time. I've warned her so many times. She is wasting so much time. It is no longer going to be a problem if she runs out of time. Does that make sense? Like, oh, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Like, the reason it's going so long is because of her.
Yeah.
And she was less annoyed by the cord dying than the Sarah issue.
Well, she was also annoyed at the prison staff for when the prison guard.
Yeah, that kind of set her off again at the end, being like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean you're dragging her out?
We've had this set up for us, you know.
I'm trying to get this idiot to submit her evidence. She can't. She's reading like 4 words a minute with these quotations. She can't do anything. She's asking how she's supposed to fulfill overnight visits for a parenting plan she's objecting to." I don't think Sarah would have a chance against Donna, says Edie Beatty. No, I think Donna would have Sarah shanked within 5 minutes.
I agree with you. Donna would probably put a hit out on her.
Because the one thing Donna has that Sarah doesn't have is Harvey and money. You can put money on people's books. If Donna's already in there for life, right? She's already in there. If she accepts the fact she's already in there for life, that's much more dangerous, because she'd be like, Harvey, I need you to put $200 on Janelle's book. She's going to take care of a problem for me.
Oh, good Lord. Then we're back to square one.
Janelle's in the back of Sarah being like, shut the fuck up. It's like, she does it like $5. I will do it for $5. I will do it for $5, Donna.
As long as they get it on prison cam so we can watch.
Yeah.
That was dark. I'm sorry.
No, I'm laughing about it too. I'm like, do you want me to gut her like a salmon or more like a trout?
For Zoozers and Wham Whams. That's correct. No, Sarah would not be Donna's hit woman. No. Azure Mist, You're wrong on this one. You know why? Because Sarah would need to talk to Donna about the hit over and over, and Sarah cannot keep her mouth shut. She would be saying, you know what Donna had me do? You know what Donna had me do? Like, Donna is smart enough to know that Sarah can't be trusted with anything because she's an idiot. She would just spray it all over the prison. Everyone would, within 5 seconds of the hit, everyone would know Donna was behind it. So, yeah. And she'd be like, I don't know. I feel like you're trying to feed me. Donna's like, I'm giving you instructions on who to kill. So, I feel, because of this. Did you? Go ahead. These are your questions. You can read it.
Oh, yes. Did you enjoy it as much as I did when the judge said to Sarah, you aren't telling anybody anything? Ask a question.
That was great.
That was my favorite part.
It was.
That was also when you could tell the judge was done. Like, the judge before that was irritated, but maybe maintaining a professional. You aren't telling anybody anything.
She tried to say, I will tell you this. And she cut her off before she could finish that sentence. And I just like loved
I
it.
will tell you this now, that he has not involved me in any major decision since I've been here. You're not telling anybody anything. Ask a question.
That was like the mic drop moment for me.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. It was funny too. Just
She
I
didn't even
love
wait
this.
for an objection, nothing.
Yeah.
She was just like, nope, shutting it down.
I love this judge. She was fantastic. Like I said, her and Judge Cranick are my heroes.
I mean, yeah, I think I described to you guys, even Larry, like right after when you're talking with Tanika at the table, like it seemed like the judge's demeanor seemed like she had like a migraine at the time. Like that's the perfect way to describe her overall demeanor and irritation. Be like, I got this migraine. It's not working here. I don't think this is her 24. I don't think this is her everyday.
No.
Emotions and attitude, right? It was just a bad day with a bad response.
I like I said, I don't know if Judge Jackson drinks.
Says we all had to stifle a big, like it was.
I don't know if Judge Jackson drinks, but I imagine when she got back to her chamber, she just like let out a sigh of relief, like, oh, God, thank God that's over with. I need a drink.
And it was Lawyer B. You're exactly right. Oh wait, who said it? Robin said it. Trading student thought she was in charge, just as she did during the interview. Yeah, she definitely thought she was in charge up until that point, and then when the judge took back control, like judge recognizing what Sarah was doing, thinking like, I'm running this, and she was not. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's stuff you'd never hear in a normal trial. That's why it was great.
Exactly. Jupiter in the chat said the judge had a migraine named Sarah Boone.
Well, she is a migraine. Like when
she's a huge one.
If you have to actually deal with her, she's a migraine. If you're able to look from the outside and laugh, she's hilarious. But then also, she still eventually gives you a migraine by her repetition. Just, I don't know.
What about Tanika's asking you a question? What about? I can't read it because
What about the character witness? I'm so confused on this. Shut up, people. Yeah. I mean, that was crazy. Like, she thought Sarah obviously did not. I mean, I've said it a million times. She did not understand what was being decided or what the issues were here, right? This was not a trial to find out if she was fit to be a mother, which you would need character witness, right? To combat all the hate that Brian was talking about. Brian is talking about factual issues. You are in prison. You cannot call my house every day. It has nothing to do with you being a good or bad person. You are in prison. You don't have any expenses. I don't need to pay you alimony. You are in prison. I didn't get any child support from you, and I'm going to have to raise them until I'm 18. You owe me the money. These are all factual, very factual issues, Sarah. And you are talking about character witnesses because you are so sure this is going to be an attack on Sarah. And I would love to see what those... Well, no, I don't think I would love to, actually. It would probably make me nauseous reading them. They're probably because they're from the Flying Monkeys saying like, she's a blind dog and she had a deaf dog. And then, she's a caring mother to her son and she loves everyone. And she's been the best person. She even offered to give me a kidney, but she can't because she's in prison. And she even offered to donate her heart to me, Your Honor. If only she was able to donate her heart. That shows what a giving person she is. And her liver and both of her lungs. She was going to give me both of her lungs. Who does that if you're not a giving person?
Oh, a liar.
Yeah, a liar. Then it was great the way the judge just dismissed it too, right? She's like, no, I'm not taking hearsay letters.
Self-serving hearsay. That was great. That was a good line.
This is self-serving hearsay. What did I say to you in my letter on the 14th, Brian. That's self-serving hearsay. Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if the judge even read her 33-page manifesto. She probably read about a couple pages, like, I can't read this anymore.
Because it's just regurgitated throughout.
It's self-serving.
This is self-serving hearsay. Throw this to the side.
I think so. I was wondering about that, right? I think judges are obligated to read the entire thing, right? So I'm just guessing, like, when you know something's going to be garbage, right? What I imagine happens, they have a highlighter, right? And they're just reading through it. And then they highlight a line that is just ridiculous that they can quote back, right? In their motion meeting. The respondent said, I'm about to get on an appeal. This is ridiculous because she has yet to even file an appeal, right? You get 3 or 4 of those highlighted lines, then you can just read the rest. You don't have to take any notes. You don't have to respond point by point because it's meaningless, right? You just say, this is all nonsense. It's hearsay. It's garbage. No, not hearsay. It's legal fiction, mumbo jumbo, disorganized. Because people don't understand. It takes more talent to write less than more.
Yeah.
Just like I know it takes more talent to speak less than I do, right? That's why I have to talk so much. I'm untalented, people. Like I do not, I do not have the ability to get this all down in a half hour, which is why the streams are this long. Go ahead with your next question here.
I think this was kind of already answered with the picture, but were you impressed with her illustrious townhome? But we saw that with the picture, obviously.
The illustrious townhome maintained by Sarah and Brian Zallinger.
Obviously, it was lackluster from the picture.
I thought it was beautiful.
If only
It was
there
disgusting.
There was like a huge hornet's nest outside that one door. I pointed it out to you. Like,
Oh, geez.
doesn't the maintenance of this facility or like, go around and knock those things down or spray some raid on them or something? But or are they a protected species down here?
They must be between maintenance people. I just don't see what
This thing was like the size of a baseball. I mean,
wow.
And it was right outside someone's door on the 2nd floor.
Yeah, that's what I mean by this place was not being taken care of at all. Like you've got, well, I don't know, maybe they don't care about hornets in Florida. They just like,
We care.
flies.
So they're not a protected species then, right? So.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, no one's inspecting my home, see if I'm destroying protected species, but if they're at the door, I'm knocking them out. I probably shouldn't admit that. When we first moved in, there was like this duck that had nested under near where the AC drips, and it had made a nest and eggs, and I didn't know if I could move them because it was some kind of a goose or something, and luckily they never hatched, and I just shoot it away. Yeah, there's like a duck just nesting. I guess the house had been vacant before we moved in. I don't even know what I'm telling you.
So it was a squatter?
Yeah, he was a squatter, or she. There was a nest with eggs, and I had to wait and see if they hatched and not move the thing because it could be protected. But that wasn't dangerous like hornets. I'm not leaving hornets up,
Yeah. Well, I know you can't like gators. A friend of mine lives in Florida. Says she took some pictures of a pond behind her house, and there was a gator in it. And I'm like, you call someone to have it removed before it, gets your pets? Or
yeah, I don't understand how you guys live with gators down there. Like, I don't understand how it's. I don't know. It just seems
they're
very
on the
unsafe.
golf course. Everything. They'll just be laying out in the sun.
Yeah, but they eat people.
They do. They do. They do. You have to avoid them. I don't go in swampy areas, so I'm good.
Florida basically is a swamp.
It is a swamp. Yeah, but I just go to work and I come home. I'm not like.
Are there any large? Well, that's kind of Florida's problem as well. You've got all these large pools of water, just inviting the crocodiles to like, hey, go ahead. Just hang out by me here. Let me give you a home right next to a bunch of human food. It doesn't make sense to me. And it's kind of, that's what, when I was on top of the hotel, it's because Florida's so flat. Like it's so bizarre to look out and there's just flat land for as far as the eye can see.
This is true.
I don't know how to do it. Luckily, I was able to avoid any sinkholes. I thought I was worried about sinkholes too. I was like, oh my God, a hotel's
That's way more scary than alligators to me because that's unsuspecting.
Well, both of them will kill you.
Correct.
I assume the alligator's unsuspecting as well.
Perhaps yes and no, but you could possibly get away from the alligator. There are things you could do. If you're driving and a sinkhole opens up, there is nothing you can do. You're just dead.
I mean, I guess.
Well,
I lived in South Georgia. They have alligators there too, but you didn't see them unless you went to like the Okefenokee Swamp or something, you know. But
right. Yeah.
I'm still laughing at the question that's on screen there.
Oh, that's mine. Did anyone offer you Coke at Muldoon's? And did you drunkenly try it and flirt with other patrons or the bartender?
No, there was only
No
like
cocaine was
one
offered.
barfly that was she was really flirtatious with the guy that she was sitting next to. Remember, they were like sitting across on the other side of the bar from us. And
I don't pay attention to people.
yeah, that was she was really coming on to the guy, and they eventually left. But there really wasn't a whole lot of people in there when we were there. I think around the time we started to leave is when some more people started showing up. But,
Things are heating up. All right.
Yeah.
So you missed the cocaine offerings, I guess.
No, I mean, I didn't see any lines on on the bar or anything like that. Any razor blades, you know.
Gotcha.
Let's see, 196. Let's see. I was going to show some of the videos. I didn't edit any of these, but what's one of these? Let's see here. 19. Is this 196? 207? Sorry, 1 second here. Because I wanted to talk about this. So you got the Publix. This was a real big issue for me logically. So this first map here, in her testimony that Suma confirmed with me, what she says is, when she's describing to Owens, how do you get to Publix? She goes, oh, well, you go out and then you do a U-turn and then a turn and then you're right there, right? Well, this is going north to south. You can see at the top here, this is her apartment, the starting point, 4748 Frains Court. And then you drive out of there, and then you just drive south, and then the Publix is there. There's no U-turn on this map, right? At all. Like, it'd be weird. It'd be more normal to describe a U-turn as a turn than a turn as a U-turn, right? But then if you look at the map from Mandy Court, that's a definite U-turn,
Right.
right? So she was describing how she got there from her old house that she lived in with Brian during the trial, which is just, what a drunk. Like, you can't even remember how you were getting, like, you can't tell the difference between, I don't know.
No, not after she popped her Xanax and she's on her second bottle. Because, they drove there after they finished the first bottle or something, right? Didn't they drive after they had been drinking?
Yeah, which didn't make sense because if you look at this first picture again. All right, so see how it goes. It kind of ends where it says gas there. That's the T connection with the main road. Mm-hmm. Right beyond that is a Walgreens right there. Why were you driving all the way down? The Walgreens is across the street from Muldoon's. Why are you driving to Publix to get wine? Why are you driving to Lotto Zone there? You can see Lotto Zone highlighted on there. Why are you driving there to get cigarettes when you can get wine and cigarettes at Walgreens? And they had her bottle. They had her Woodbridge there. I went and verified it.
Publix has a lot of buy one, get one deals, even on wine sometimes.
Well, there were no buy one, get one receipts during the trial that we saw.
True.
And then this is the cattywampus. Remember when she's in her interrogation, she goes, "Oh yeah, George would go to the store." What'd she say? She was like, "You take this down." She's like,
I still never heard of that.
cattywampus to the Publix." Right. This is what she's describing. Look at this.
Take a picture of you.
Here's the Publix.
Nah, I mean, yeah. You want a picture in front of it?
Oops.
Nah, I mean, yeah. You want a picture in front of it?
I'm good. I just want to know if you wanted to like
No, I'm just
show your audience.
So, I'm just trying to show here. So, remember, that's the cattywampus Circle K.
That's the cattywampus.
Like, would you describe this?
Trying to set it here.
This is the same parking lot, people.
Run over.
This is not across the street. This is the same goddamn parking lot. What is she talking about? Cattywampus, kitty corner.
Like, it's the same parking lot.
Even there you
She
go.
makes it sound like it was the way she made it described, like it was, going across the street or another total different.
Yeah, I mean, catty corner. I guess you could, maybe, but to me it looks like it's in the same.
Yeah, I thought kitty corner was like diagonal.
Yeah.
That's
It
not
looks
the- it's just
straight
next to
across.
It's like it's next to it. It's right next to it. It's not far away. It's not kitty corner. What is this one?
Hear Me Out with Hear Me Out News. Standing outside Publix, which sells enough liquor for two people to have a really good time. In addition to that, it is starting to rain, and the humidity has officially liquefied my body. Hello, everyone.
Where did
Poor
you get that
Larry had to
microphone?
Larry had to sit through all of those. He's just
Well, no, I remember you were probably getting annoyed with me for trying
No.
to make suggestions, because I did a lot of filmmaking when I was working on my bachelor's degree, and I kept like, well, you want me to shoot from this angle, or you want to hold the and then you explained to me you were the look that you were going for. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, and that was just like you didn't understand, because I know that as soon as it makes something that looks good, people are gonna have some kind of expectation, right? They're gonna be like, oh my god, this guy's making a documentary, thinks, or whatever, right? Well, I'm not making a documentary, so you can't judge it as a documentary. And as soon as I make something that looks like it could be documentary style, you're gonna start saying it doesn't look documentary worthy, and then I'm gonna be screwed. So I just need to keep that bar real low, low.
I understood after like a couple times I finally got it. I was like, but at first it was like natural for me to kick into to the mode of like filmmaking. If I had brought my camera and my tripod and microphones and everything, if I had brought that with me,
Right.
But then I finally got it, but I felt bad at first. I was like, man, I wonder. I hope I didn't.
Don't feel bad.
It's like, but no, I don't. To me, it looked like it was right in the same parking lot. It wasn't, cattywampus. I never heard that word till Sarah Boone used it, but it didn't look catty corner to me. It just, looked like it was part of the same, strip mall or that whole little, shopping area.
Yeah, and then she was stopping by where is it? The Lotto Zone. Oops. The Lotto Zone just looked like a place that was. Where is it? Oh, a sec. Come on. Where is it? It's a Lotto. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. The Lotto Zone just looked like it was a place that was killing time in between robberies.
Whoa.
That's where she.
Cattywampus is. What does that say? Cattywampus is crookedy. I don't know. It didn't even look crookedy to me. It just looked like it was just part of the same.
Just next to it.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat are saying it's kitty corner if you're drunk. So maybe she's just kind of bumbling drunk and
Wait, kitty
remembers
corner.
it.
Oh, kitty corner. Oh, you're saying the term kitty corner is what she should have used, but she used cattywampus. Oh, wait. Or are you saying cattywampus as if you don't know how to pronounce kitty corner when you're drunk?
No, they're saying that walking there would be cattywampus or kitty corner, either one. If she was drunk, she could have been kind of swerving around.
I just never heard the term until she used it. And I've been, I spent a career going around the country and across the world, and I never heard the term until she used it in the interview with the detectives. So,
No, me either.
And I lived in Georgia before I went in the service, and I never heard it there. And I supposedly isn't she from Georgia, if I recall, originally?
Yeah, they mentioned
Atlanta,
that.
Georgia. Yes, Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, Georgia. Once and for all, France Court or France Court. France Lane or France Court. 3.
You need to put on the wig if you're going to start reading like Sarah.
Good one, Barry.
Oh, okay, I get it, very ends. Okay, I see. Hold on. Let me get this in. See. All right, 1 second.
I wish I didn't have. It's so hard to read these. I was fine until I had to switch browsers.
Once and for all.
What's from France Lane or France Court, apartment 3.
There you go.
Perfect.
And scene.
That wig is going to be in the Smithsonian one day.
You need to let him do the dedication in your book with the wig on.
Actually, in addition to dedicating it to George, I'm also dedicating it to the entire YouTube true crime community, and I'm going to list everybody that has pretty much like influenced me to write it, and especially if I cite them as a source for something that I've written in the book. But there's one illustration I want to do of Sarah, writing her forgiveness letter, and she's surrounded by the true crime, or social media tycoons. Is that how she referred to everyone?
Scoundrel detectives, and
the social
keyboard
media
warriors.
And
who are so eager to prove me to be so right, or what was it? Prove themselves so right and prove me so wrong.
So she's going to be surrounded by little circles with each with as many people as I can fit on one page. I can't fit everyone, but I'm going to try to fit it, as many as I can, like from lawyer to Tanika, to everybody that I can fit on there. But because that still cracks me up when she referred to everybody as social media tycoons.
They have blood on their keyboards.
And still no one knows me.
I have George Torres with me in my heart, in my mind, my body and my soul.
That was terrifying. Out of nowhere.
I'm going to have to send you
Lazulilite. I don't know if we're gonna. Okay, actually, because this is Sarah, I bet she was trying to use big, obscure words to sound smart, and cattywampus found like. I don't think anything with the syllables wampus or womp in it sound intelligent ever. It could be a real word, but I was saying womp or catty, like none of those sounds are intelligent, like by themselves. Onomatopoeia, like you said catty to wampus.
Am I the only one that thinks of Empire Strikes Back when I read that word, cattywampus, like the wampa monster or wampa creature that?
I don't think of it.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Derek.
Classified crime. I know you had said there was a few other things you wanted to bring up. I wasn't sure. Did you want to go over those now? Because that's the last of the quotes.
Oh, I had the cost of all the phone calls. I also had looked into all the requirements for visiting with her son
Oh,
for
let's discuss that.
Brian.
You want to share that?
Yeah, we can. Let's see. Well, I don't have a screenshot of it, but I just looked on the Florida DOC. I know.
Go ahead,
I'm so
then.
unprepared. I am uncuffed but unprepared. So first of all, he has to call by Wednesday to schedule the following Saturday or Sunday to come see her. So
Okay.
he has to put in a call and reserve a spot. She said she wanted the son to be there for the maximum amount of time, and that was from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So she wants her son to come in there,
Totally normal.
sit there from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The
Now,
only thing
I assume that's the visiting hours, so you have to show
Yes.
up at like 8 a.m., right, to get
Correct.
processed in line.
You have to show up by 8. I think they start processing. The only thing they can bring in is their car key and their identification.
Lovely.
If they want to have snacks, they have to buy them in the vending machine. They're on site. And if they go to use the restroom, they're subject to being searched again to come back into the room with the mom.
I mean, the logistics of this make no sense because there's obviously no meal service. So
Right.
for
You want a
6
bag of
hours, they're just
Cheetos?
going to eat out of the vending machine?
Yes.
Sarah, like, she doesn't,
That's-
she thinks like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. She thinks that's okay. That's a visiting session. No, that's a window, Sarah, where people
Exactly.
can show up during there for the 30-minute visit.
It said
6
they wouldn't
hours.
process anyone after 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. So obviously, people aren't staying the entire 6 hours. But that's what she requested, right, in the court?
For the maximum allowable time for the facility, right? So
And
he's
then
got to get up.
holidays, they said if a holiday falls on a Saturday, they observe it on the preceding Friday. And then if it falls on a Sunday, they observe it on Monday. So then they can still have their Saturday, Sunday visitation plus a Friday or Monday. So that's going to give her extra days that she wants.
I wouldn't want to go visit my mother in prison if under those kind of conditions. Like, he might go one time and say, "Dad, I can't do this no more."
No, I guarantee you,
6
like
hours.
she's her own worst enemy, right? Because just like she should make it as easy as possible. Make it a 30-minute visit, right? She wants them there the entire time because to get there by 8, he lives an hour and a half. So he's getting up at what? 6 a.m. to get ready by 6:30 to leave, to be there by 8, to get in there by 9 after going through the check-in process. She wants to keep him there till 3. So then they get out, let's say 10 minutes to exit. They get in the car. They're home by 4:30. So he has spent 10 hours on the road or in jail to visit her
Right.
every Saturday. Do teenagers like getting up at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday?
Absolutely not.
I didn't even like doing it as an adult.
Right.
But I had some guy with a Smokey Bear hat yelling at me. I like,
It is
Well-
so insane. Like, but what she also doesn't realize is she says for the maximum allowable time. Well, if he gets up and walks away, the prison isn't going to be like, get back on the table.
She's going to want them to. She's going to tattletale to whoever's in the room.
well, I mean, he's gonna have to get like he's gonna probably.
But he's
I
not
got
in
frisked
prison.
every time
He
I
doesn't
had
have
to
to
go to
stay
the
there.
bathroom. Dad, every time I had to go to the bathroom, the guy frisked me. There was no food there except for a stale bag of Cheetos in the vending machine.
Well, Brian's going to be there. Brian's going to be there.
No, but
It's
I'm
not
just
like-
saying that he's probably going to tell him that, I don't want to come back and visit mom no more. Not after this.
Well,
Why
she
don't
doesn't
they
realize
come visit?
Brian is going to be there the entire time.
He
Yeah.
has to be, yeah, because he's a minor. So he has to be with him the entire time. And that was a big thing with her, too, saying that she wanted private phone calls. Well, she's not going to get private in-person visits.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually when you have a long drive, you stay there for a few hours, but that's if you're an adult. If you're a teenager, you're like, I don't care. Can I get this over so I can go back home?
Yeah.
To go back to sleep.
He's not going to be able to bring his phone in there or anything.
No.
No.
He's going to be eating chips out of the vending machine. He's going to be hungry. He's going to be thirsty. He can't go to the bathroom. He has to go back through security if he goes to the bathroom. Brian's going to be sitting there and she's going to be up. I think this maybe lasts. She probably blows it after 1, maybe 2 visits.
I say one. I say 1 visit, and the son will probably tell Brian, like, look, this was a miserable experience. I don't want to ever do this again. You know, can we not come here ever again? You know, I mean, I don't know him. I'm just speculating. You know how I would feel if I was in that position, but
Right. Even as an adult, if my family member were there, I wouldn't like be excited to go do that every month or
Plus, she wants to
however.
call him all the time. What's the point of going there and visit if you're calling him all the time? Right? You're calling. They hung up the night before, maybe on a phone call. You showed the prison. Okay, what are we talking about now?
yeah.
She's not an intellectual conversationalist.
And I guarantee he has more to tell her about his week than she does to him about her week.
But she's already extracted all the information. This is the same problem Lauren has. Lauren blows his load on text messages to his catfish, and then he gets him on the phone, and he has nothing left to say, and he just repeats himself again. And they're like, yeah, you already said that in the text. Well, why don't we stay on the phone until we find something to talk about?
No, thank you. Like, what kids like to talk on the phone that much?
They don't. From what I've heard, the newer generation considers talking on the phone to be antiquated. That they're more into text or
even that. Like, how
well, even
often?
I prefer text. Right? It's nice, easy because I can. I prefer to talk in person or text. I don't like talking on the phone.
No, but I was just reading that the other day where it said that the newer generations they consider talking on the phone to be antiquated. I'm assuming they mean Gen Alpha, but also probably Gen Z. I don't know, but it didn't say which generation, but I'm assuming they meant Gen Alpha. But
Gen Alpha? What are you talking about? What's
they're
Gen Alpha?
They're the generation that's after Gen Z. Which some of the Gen Z have already had kids, you know, so they're probably teenagers by now. But
you consider this to be antiquated?
Absolutely. Sometimes your kids won't even return a text, so much less. I find it pretty unbelievable that he'll have a 30-minute phone call every week. You know,
I'm trying to remember. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I still say that it should be totally up to the son, you know, and I really hope the judge actually kind of specifies that, you know, considering everything I've heard, you know, that I think it's up to the son to determine when he wants to take phone calls and how often he wants to visit, you know, kind of like leave it up to him instead of Sarah or Brian. Just it should be his decision. It's his time, you know.
exactly.
He needs to decide what's what and how many.
He needs to decide. I mean, I hope she puts those parameters on there because without them, Sarah's not going to abide by anything like that. Even with them, she's gonna have a hard time sticking to whatever the judge orders.
Yeah, I mean, I told Tanika this, right? She's ultimately going to blow it, right? She's going to, even if she gets the court order saying, oh, it's only once a week or whatever, she's going to blow it. She's going to strangle that relationship to death with her son. It's just going to be over.
Yeah.
Drive him away because she cannot control herself, even though she really doesn't want to talk. She just wants to control. She wants to, in my opinion, she wants to have a relationship with her son only in the sense that she wants to deprive Brian of having a better relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like she wants to be the better parent. She doesn't really care about what he's saying or what he's doing, but
it's all about control. It has nothing to do with how, you know, with the son's feelings and wishes. It's just she's using him as a control, method of control.
Because
Exactly.
like I said, like she's lost almost all of her identity, right? At this point, the only thing she will ever accomplish is having been a mother. She can't do anything else, right? There's no work legacy, no accomplishments academically, nothing that you can actually cite, right? She could only cite, well, the fact I'm a mother and I'm a good mother, and that's what she wants to have on her stamped on her tombstone.
But she could, though. She could if she would use her time for more constructive endeavors. Like some people in prison, they paint art. Some people in prison, they get a better education. Than they ever had before. Even though it really doesn't do them any good. I mean, she could go.
She could, but
yeah.
but getting a better education implies like a knowledge that you can learn something.
Well, she likes to play lawyer so much, she can get a law degree while she's in there.
Well, no, but I'm saying she doesn't think she doesn't know everything. So what good would be going? What good would that do? She already knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to learn anything from anyone. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she does not accept that she isn't the smartest person in every room that she goes to.
No, she's an elite breed.
She is elite, and we can only hope to be like her one day.
We can only hope.
I wouldn't.
All right, I'm sending you the evidence. She submitted this JPay evidence, and I thought, oh, she gave us her text messages, but no, this is just the rates for everything when she was demanding the all the features to be able to use all the features of the tablet. So this is how much all of this costs.
I think you're able to move through these, right? Not me.
Okay, let's see. Hold on, I'm having to do. It's only allowing certain files, so I'm having to do a screenshot. So here's the first one.
Yeah, because she makes a big deal out of this during the trial, because she wants to present it as the reason she needs the money because of all the forms of communication that can be utilized that Brian is not currently exercising, right? Which again, is insane. Lady,
So
you're about to lose contact.
Crazy. So this is the 15-minute video visit. $295 fee.
Is it?
That's the first one.
For 15 minutes?
For 15 minutes.
$295 for 15 minutes?
Yeah, and then if you put up the second screenshot, it shows you how they have to buy digital stamps. And how
maybe that's why she never replied to my letter.
She has to buy email stamps. So there's email rates, outbound, inbound, all of that. And then there's okay. All right, take that one down. Can you take that one down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can take it down.
And then I put a second one up. So this tells how much the stamps are. This is how she gets email postage. So she has to buy postage to
email
send
postage? Oh, I guess it makes sense. So you're not just spamming out email.
Right. This is how, I guess they were saying 50 cents. Each message costs 1 stamp. Attachments cost additional stamps. So that's why she's saying she wants him to fund all these features. So she wants to be able to send pictures back and forth.
Back and forth? What pictures is she going to send from prison?
Well, maybe he can send her pictures because, Brian never bothered to send any pictures to her like she'd been asking. So there is that.
So when I wrote I wrote a letter to her when she first got moved to Lowell.
Hit the back button, sorry.
So anyway, I wrote a letter asking if she would like to, be interviewed for, the book of it, and she never responded back. Is it because it has to be done electronically?
That I don't know. I think she can still get physical mail, but I think you have to register to be able to, for her to be able to receive it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think you have to like go in and register as a visitor or something for her to be
Oh,
able to receive the mail.
I'll have to share the letter that I wrote with you guys because it
Oh yes.
full of snark. It wasn't very long. It was just basically requesting an interview with her, and I think I started it off saying, "I hope the holidays were," I basically kind of quoted her letter from that she wrote to, I think, Bankowitz. I basically quoted verbatim the same opening entry, like, "I hope the holidays were lovely for you and your family." And then I asked for if she was willing to interview, and I never heard back. And I figured she probably exploded with rage when she read it, and it caught fire. But I guess the letter never found her because it wasn't electronic. Physical. Someone said Kathleen says physical mail gets scanned in.
Oh, and maybe she has to have stamps to receive it.
Barry, did you? I missed what Barry said. Did you proffer
clearly fun fish soap?
Oh, Barry. Fish soap.
So it looks like, and then the next one just shows like she has to do it says 4 stamps per videogram, so she can do an outbound or inbound videogram. So like if he wanted to record himself sending her a little message that she could open on the tablet, she probably just wants to show it off to her prison buddies, right? That, oh, someone still cares about me, look, I got a message. Because remember when she was talking about, oh, I had to sit there and wait while everyone else's name was called and they got their hot meal. Like that's probably what it is. Other people are getting, messages and things, and she's not getting the full functions.
Well, it's weird because, they're not monsters and they get responses to, like, they're not leeches on human souls and they get responses to their messages. Or, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think it's just because Brian's so cheap. He doesn't want her to enjoy, the full functions of her prison amenities because he's a cheapskate.
That's right. That is correct. And because he's immature, he's bitter, he hates her, right? All this kind of it really is sad that Brian is so petty and not just turning over his son to
and
this
alienating
monster.
her. He's alienating her.
Alienating her. Can't get anything done. She can't get any of her rights fulfilled because this monster Brian is he's keeping her son kidnapped, basically withholding him for the mere fact that she's in prison for the rest of her life. But yet she doesn't realize that he is probably the most amicable person she would have ever had this opportunity, and she's gonna blow it. Like most people would not be even agreeing to a call. They would just be going, "You're done. I'm not talking to you anymore."
I just say, Sarah, pound sand. Bye-bye.
It's perplexing how much somebody can screw up their own life so completely without ever realizing that they've ever done anything wrong.
And
or acknowledging it.
That's what makes her an unlikable person, is that she can't see that she's done anything wrong. To this day, to her dying day, she's never going to admit that she did something wrong.
Right.
She submitted one of those letters she wrote to the court into evidence as if that would help her in some way. Like that was one of her. I'm thinking these letters are unhinged. You can't look back at them later and reflect and say, wow, I was angry when I wrote that. You can't even do that.
No, she's looking at it and being like, oh my God, that was so good. Oh, yes, that's. Oh,
well, her forgiveness letter.
Oh, I like that line. That line was so good too. Oh, this is perfect.
Well, her forgiveness letter to Kranick about, when she didn't even address him by his title, called him Mr. instead of, Your Honor. And she's going to do the same thing to Judge Jackson. When Judge Jackson rules in Brian's favor, she's going to write another forgiveness letter, and she's going to, get nasty with Judge Jackson too. That's her modus operandi. That's her.
100% she does that.
That's her shtick, her modus operandi. That's what she does.
Is it possible that Sarah becomes so bad that new, case law is created by the fact that she, like, we have, now that we are in the era of the narcissist, right? And we can get one that is this bad. Like, how do we combat this as the courts, right? They already had the rules to deal with Daryl Brooks because the sovereign citizen thing wasn't new. But it just, this cancer on human society and human ears, Sarah Boone, like, how do we prevent her from just torturing everyone from prison endlessly without any repercussions? Or do we cut off her communication? Like, that would be an extreme amount, right? Or extreme action.
Well, I don't think the court should allow any kind of letters to the court that like her unhinged forgiveness letter. Her case is closed. It's done. Why?
But how do you determine that before it's read? And if once it's read, it has to go into the record. So how do you determine? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
At what point does somebody lose the ability to even write letters?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The court should make a determination. Like if the judge was reading her forgiveness letter, like, you know what, I just sentenced her. She's off to the Boone farm, the permanent Boone farm forever. I don't have to post this shit, and just drop it in the shredder or whatever. But that's kind of a rule I think that they need to institute to combat someone like Sarah.
Maybe a restraining order. I mean, honestly, I think I'm serious. I think
No, I know you're serious. It's just I just got this image in my head of Judge Crane.
Like, when am I going to be done with this woman? But I think Brian, like, once they get to the point where there's some regulations there, he can say, okay, she's violating these court orders, and then he can ask for, a period of time with no contact.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking. I guess I was thinking more of like just the courts, like her just like these files are open right now because she keeps filing stuff, right? When she keeps sending these letters,
Simple electric chair.
Tanika says, I know you can't do that, but it's public record. I understand that. It's just I think they need to change the rule once someone's convicted. Do they really need to post that letter online, or can they just
wait. I still want to, if there's a letter written, I still want to see it. I'm saying, how do you prevent her from writing the letter? Right? Yeah. How do you prevent she has no access to paper or pens or something, or any kind of mailing she gets has to go through, or any kind of letter she tries to send has to go through like an advisory board. She's not going to be the last one. I can't imagine that she ends up being the last one, because other people will see this that are crazy and be like, oh yeah, this is how I can harass my way into losing everything, right? But at least I'll have something to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say she really needs to find something to do with her time. She needs to accept the fact that it's her life as it was previously is over with, and she needs to make good use of the time that she has left. Before
don't they make license plate in prison anymore? I always heard there was. Is there no more license plates anymore?
I think they still do it here in Texas.
Maybe is it farmed out by state? You think, like each state prison system has its own. It's only.
She alluded to having a job.
Its own consumable.
She alluded to having a job.
South Dakota are making socks.
She doesn't have a job because if she has that much time to be calling back-to-back calls on the phone relentlessly, how does she have time to work?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And it's like every couple of hours she's calling, back to back to back, and then she does her
Right.
rounds again. So.
I can't see. Someone says she cleans toilets. Well, she better be careful with that because some guards will beat a woman to a point of becoming a paraplegic because she refused to clean a toilet.
All right. Well, I think we're going to end it here. We're at 3 hours. It's been a great stream. Any last comments you'd like to make, Classified? Everyone remember, click on her channel in the description. Go ahead and sign up over there. Subscribe. Any last comments?
Just thank you for letting me join in on
Of course.
fun, because I love the insider point of view. So thanks for letting me hop on.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Larry, any final words?
Thank you for having me on. I had a great time with you in Florida, and for that, you know, the trip there and back was pretty painful for me, but it was worth it. It was worth it to see it in person, see her hearing in person, and meet new people, meet you, meeting Tanika, you know, and finally meeting in person. Had a great time. Love to do it again, and I'll keep everyone posted on the book. I'm working on it. I want to make sure everything is accurate, everything is cited to the source. You know, whether it's a video or a court document, I want to make sure everything is 100% cited properly. And also I want to add a little dark humor too, so to make it a little bit entertaining. Because otherwise it's a pretty depressing story.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it. So what does that tell you?
And Tevi, you are 3 hours late, Tevi. So sorry, we're not going to do another 3 hours.
Okay.
You're going to get some never before seen news clips here at the end of the outro. Just I've strung together. So here we go. Have a good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. And remember, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I just picked 7 p.m. Two Blonde Crew will be back, me and Suma. And maybe it's Derek, depending on if he's grounded or not. All right?
Oh, I can't wait.
Good night, all.
Bye. Turn to the scene of the crime. Apartment number 3 is over my shoulder. Let's go closer and see if there are any new details we can uncover. Whether these theories are true or not, they all unanimously agree. It is way better than when she actually lived here. Locals remain skittish and recluse, with nobody seeming to want to come outside. Although I did approach a small child and asked them, "Do you know who used to live here?" And he ran away to his mother. Many residents believe the evil of Sarah Boone still haunts these grounds, with the sound of empty wine bottles clanging together and the sound of a drunken, slurring idiot being audible on several nights. And we have finally